We are back yet again here tonight with a nice NBC game, and we finally get to take in the Orlando Magic and see what's been going on for them as they've recently started to stabilize a little bit. So it should be a good game here tonight against the Trae Youngless Atlanta Hawks. Let's get into it. We are back once again and should be in for a good night of basketball. Justice Dad, my brother, appreciate you, my man. I really love how you be putting in all the extra context in there. I really like it, man. Thank you. Thank you for that. 3-game road trip to host the Orlando Magic on Tuesday. They will be without Trae Young. Yes, Nickeil Alexander-Walker will be in the lineup for the Trae Youngless Atlanta Hawks, but the Hawks are still feisty without Trae Young, as they've also recently started to stabilize a little bit. Trending upward for the Hawks, trending upward for the Magic, who both got off to pretty disappointing starts to the season. The Hawks beat the Pacers without Trae Young the other night, but lost to the Cavs, 117-109 Sunday. Alexander Walker is starting for Trae Young, absolutely. So we're going to start off with the away team, as always, the Orlando Magic, starting with, of course, their former number 1 overall pick, Paolo Banchero, who is, in his 3rd year, I believe, right? Paolo Banchero. People have started to wave the red flag a little bit on Paolo Banchero. Some people have been doing it for a while. Other people are just starting to catch on now. But the flag is indeed starting to be waved for Mr. Banchero, who loves to settle for those mid-range shots. He is still averaging 23.3 points per game, 9.3 rebounds is a nice number for a starting power forward, 4 assists as well. The 2.6 turnovers isn't great when he's the hub. You want him probably closer to 5, get at least the 2-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio, but at 4, bad assist away. And maybe as his teammates start to knock down some shots, maybe those numbers will go up, but also at the same time, not doing a great job of passing out of certain situations, but it's early in the season. Maybe he'll get better at that. MBM, what's up, MBM? Shout out to the program manager. Appreciate you. About 0.7 steals per game, 1.3 blocks per game, which is a nice number for Paolo because you don't normally equate defense with Paolo Banchero's game. The 2.6 turnovers we went over, but this number right here is obviously the issue for Mr. Banchero. He wants to be more of a perimeter shooter, and it's not just the three-point shooting. That mid-range area is not going down for him either. So the jump shot is looking rough for Banchero, playing on a team that has already been known as a team to not have too many shooters, not have options out on the perimeter. Banchero is kind of out there trying to be one of the solutions to the problem, but they need him more in the mid-post area, attacking the basket, using his size and his strength. He should be playing a lot more like Julius Randle. If there were anybody I could compare Paolo Banchero to who's in the NBA right now, it would be to Julius Randle. Put your head down, get to the rim, use your physicality to get downhill and get some easier baskets rather than having to settle for yourself. He's more Julius Randle than he is Carmelo Anthony. Stop trying to be Melo. You're not Melo. There's only been one Melo. You're not him, right? It's obviously early, but Banchero's poor shot selection is still hurting his team's overall offensive efficiency. They traded for Desmond Bane, who obviously we will get to, but Desmond Bane has been doing more creating for Paolo Banchero than Paolo Banchero has been doing for Desmond Bane. And we'll get to it, and the numbers will show. Franz Wagner, who many people, me included, would probably say is right now the Magic's best player on the team, not Paolo. But in combination, both of those two guys are fantastic building blocks. 22.6 points per game, 5.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists. The assist numbers and the rebounds and the points are actually all down a little bit from last year. Still early in the year, obviously, and a lot of that was played without Paolo, as Paolo got hurt earlier in the season. 1.3 steals, 0.3 blocks, 1.9 turnovers. Under 2 turnovers is pretty nice, but it's still pretty close to a 1-to-1 ratio. You want that ratio to be at least 2-to-1. It's not a good spot to be in right now for Franz as a playmaker. Shooting over 50% from the field is nice. 75% from the foul line is decent. You want that up a little bit more with him being more of a perimeter player for you. But 76.7 is not bad to be at. The 43.3% three-point shooting, it's obviously not on a ton of volume. You don't want him taking a ton of volume from three-point range. He is more of a downhill driver and creator out of the perimeter, driving to the rim, especially out of pick and rolls and whatnot. He's a pretty good pick and roll ball handler. Nick Yak, what's up, Yak? Definitely not Melo, but he will eventually hit his shots. I don't know if he will. Yak, maybe eventually, but I don't think anytime soon. The shot does not look clean right now from the mid-range. He's going to have to prove a lot of people wrong in that regard. Franz Wagner is shooting the 43% from three-point range, but it's on not great volume, which is fine. As long as you hit the ones you do take and remain a threat from the perimeter, this is fine. 43% is obviously a great percentage. It will likely come down as the season goes on. But considering the way he ended the season with a really bad hitch in the shot and it did not look good, high percentage to start the year is nice. Is nice to see. First, a little bit more added context. Wagner has it all. Decent decision maker, excellent driver and finisher, solid defensively. The jump shot looks much better. Will it last the whole season? It's obviously the big question for the Magic as well as Franz Wagner. We get over to Jalen Suggs. And my brother just needs to drop the top. I had to choose this picture intentionally. My man, it's over. It's done. Same thing as Jaylen Brown. Drop the top. Or go get the surgery. You were injured last year. Just go ahead, tell the surgeon, hey man, just take care of the top while I'm under the knife. Just go ahead, take care of the top while I'm under the knife. This is ridiculous. There's no way you look at this. This is a nice lineup too. There's no way you went to the barber and said, line me up, and the barber was like, cool. There's no way he didn't tell you, I can't, come on man. Just let me cut it off for you. Like, what are you doing? There's no way you went to the barber and he gave you this lineup and you didn't because he also showed you in the mirror. He also was like, hey bro, take a look at it. You good with that? Because every barber does that. There's no way you looked in the mirror and was like, hell yeah, thank you. You really hooked me up. There's no way you walk that, you stay in the chair and you go, you know what? That looks crazy. Just chop it off. There's no way. There's no way you didn't see it and just say, chop it off for me. Come on, big dog. Drop the top. It's gone. It's gone. The crazy thing, too, is he's still getting the fade on the side. Brother, it's gone. This is gone. Why are you fading it on the side? At least if you're fading it on the side, take that little extra hair that he's chopping off and go ahead throw it on the top like Jaylen Brown did. Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing? But to his basketball game, he's an excellent basketball player. Fantastic basketball player. One of my low-key favorite basketball players in the league right now, Jalen Suggs. 10.2 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, 4.4 assists. All of this is being done on a little bit of a minutes restriction as he starts the year. 1.8 steals, still an excellent perimeter defender, 0.2 blocks, 3 turnovers. It'll probably average out to closer to 2 as the season goes on. Maybe not, who knows, we'll see. 54% from the floor is nice. Almost 90% from the foul line is nice. 35% from three-point range is a good number for him as somebody who's been a very inconsistent three-point shooter throughout his career so far. Suggs has emerged as one of the best defenders in the league. Still struggling to find his shot consistently, but he is still incredibly additive basketball player to his team. He's on a minutes restriction to start the year so far as he's coming off of the surgery, but Jalen Suggs, outside of this right here, my brother, I'm rooting for you, my man. I'm rooting for you. Just clean this up, and I got you. Clean this up, and I got you. I'll be your number one fan, my man. I got you. We get over to the big offseason acquisition for the Orlando Magic, Mr. Desmond Bane. And boy, oh boy, is he struggling. This is Desmond Bane's number one skill in the NBA. That three-point shooting. That is what made him a starter. That is what made him a 20-plus point per game scorer down there in Memphis. And he is not knocking down the three-point shot with any consistency so far. He's got some KCP syndrome going on down there in Orlando. Now, a lot of people, maybe rightfully so, are going to start questioning the play style of the Magic and the coaching of the Magic. Because how do you have Desmond Bane and do nothing to get him open looks? Or not, maybe not do nothing, but aren't successful in getting this man any clean looks from the perimeter. Maybe they are getting him clean looks. I obviously haven't seen every single Magic game, but there's no way Desmond Bane is shooting 25% from three-point range if the team is not operating to get him clean looks from the perimeter, right? He's averaging 14.6 points per game, which is his lowest in a number of years, in about 4 or 5 years for Desmond Bane. I believe this is year 6. Might be the lowest since his rookie year. Desmond Bane with 14.6 points per game. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the fact that he can't knock down a shot consistently right now. He is shooting 94% from the foul line because we know the man's a sharpshooter, but this is a pretty piss-poor percentage from three-point range. It's also obviously contributing to a piss-poor percentage from the field. Those percentages should come up as the season goes on, but I do remember saying that about Kentavious Caldwell-Pope last year with the Magic, and that did not happen. 4 rebounds, 3.7 assists, and what I wrote down here is we know that Bane is capable of, we know what Bane is capable of, but numbers are down across the board as he acclimates to a new team, right? There's only that excuse is only going to get us so far into the season before we really start looking at Desmond Bane like, hey, man, and honestly, people aren't really going to look at Desmond Bane first. What they're going to look at is Jamal Mosley, the head coach, and say, hey, man, they went out and they got you Desmond Bane, which fixes a big problem that the Orlando Magic had of not having a consistent shooter out there. You got one of the best in the league, and you're using him more on ball than you probably should, especially when you have Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner. There's no reason why Desmond Bane should be creating shots for those two guys, and those two guys are spacing it out to the corner and to the wing, shooting spot-up threes. The roles are opposite right now in Orlando. Now, it's early in the season, and like I said, he's acclimating to a new team. So as the season goes on, hopefully he'll figure out his role, his spots, and the team will figure out his role and his spots, and Jamal Mosley will figure out his role and his spots much better. Foongpei, what's up, Foongpei? If I take away your paprika, do you become powerless? Nah, brother, there's always a substitution, my man. There's always a substitution available. We get over to the starting center on the Orlando Magic, Wendell Carter Jr. 11.3 points per game, 8.7 rebounds. He's actually playing pretty well to start the year. I said that as if he normally isn't playing well, but he's had a bit of a down year the last couple of years, especially when you take into account all of the injuries piled on top of the fact that he hasn't necessarily performed numbers-wise and that his effectiveness has sort of started to wane. Maybe the belief that he's a legit starting center in the NBA is starting to wane as well with the Orlando Magic. They do have Mo Wagner in the back who's injured right now, so the backup big man is Goga Bitadze, who's, pretty good in his own right. But Wendell Carter Jr. to start the year, 51% from the floor, 56% from three-point range, obviously on not great volume, but as I wrote down here, Carter needs to be able to be a threat from the perimeter to be a legit starting center. His defense is solid enough, but his impact isn't always felt because offensively, he's not big enough at 6'10", with not a great wingspan. He's got a long wingspan, but at 6'10", you're more so of an undersized center at this point in the NBA, with everybody playing pretty damn big. I mean, Franz Wagner is 6'10", right? Paolo Banchero is, 6'9", 6'10". So at 6'10", you're a bit of an undersized center, and you're really going to need your defense to be elite, which is not. It's solid, and so you need your offense to really tick up in order for your impact to be felt. And he's not much of a finisher inside, not much of a mid-range player, isn't great out of the high post, and so you really need to stretch your game out to the three-point line, which he's attempted to do, but it hasn't worked out great so far in his career. Now, the percentage here to start the year is obviously extremely high. It'll come down, but it's nice that he's knocking down three-point shots with regularity to start. You get over to Anthony Black, who's probably been, him and Tristan da Silva, I would think, are probably the two biggest bright spots for the Orlando Magic in terms of what they were expecting coming to the year and what they've gotten so far. Anthony Black has sort of elevated himself into one of the six men of this team. Him and da Silva, obviously we'll get to da Silva. Anthony Black has been fantastic going into his third season this year. 12.3 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.3 assists for him off the bench. Pretty solid numbers all around. 50% from the floor. He's really starting to learn how to use his body and finish in the paint and learn angles. 68 from the foul line is not very good. It's early in the season. I'll give him a little bit of a pass for now. But 32% from three-point range obviously isn't good. You'd like to see that number go a little bit higher, as the Magic are one of those teams that struggle from the perimeter. Black is super active defensively and is starting to find his role offensively. He's going to be dared to shoot. Something said about almost every Magic player. They're going to dare Franz Wagner to shoot. They're going to dare Paolo Banchero to shoot. They're going to dare Wendell Carter Jr. to shoot. They're going to dare Anthony Black to shoot. I mean, across the board, the Orlando Magic have tried to find shooters. They tried to with KCP, didn't work out. They paid a ransoms price for Desmond Bane, one of the league's preeminent shooters. So far, it hasn't really worked out in terms of him being able to space the floor for Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. They drafted da Silva, who's been solid, obviously we'll get to. They drafted Jet Howard, known for his three-point shooting. He hasn't really broken into the rotation at all. They've tried playing him every now and again. especially with the injuries they had last year, and he has not really earned a stationary spot in the rotation right now. So the Magic are trying to fill their roster with shooters. They drafted Jace Richardson in the back. They're trying to fill out the roster with shooters. But the guys who are earning rotation spots can't shoot the three ball consistently. We get over to Mo Wagner, who's injured right now, so unfortunately, we're going to jump right over him. The guy who's coming off the bench in his stead is Goga Bitadze, who's not a bad backup center either. They have 3 legit rotation bigs right now, more than a lot of teams can say right now. And Mo Wagner's out with injury right now. He should be back at some point in the season. Obviously, had the ACL tear last year, so he should be back at some point, even if it's halfway through the year or 3/4 of the way through the year. Either way, he should be back at some point and will be a factor down the line. But as of right now, Goga Bitadze is doing an excellent job of filling in as the backup big man right now. And then the last guy I want to talk about for the Magic is Tristan da Silva. I'm going to save him for last year. 10.7 points per game off the bench, shooting 35.5% from three-point range, which is a solid number, right? It's about league average, maybe slightly below league average. I believe league average is about 36, 37%. So, that's kind of the range you want to be known as a decent shooter, a good shooter, is to be around average. 35.5% from three-point range, but he is coming off the bench with 10.7 points. Excellent job providing some offense for a team that really needs some consistent offense outside of their stars. Da Silva has been a huge spark off the bench for the Magic, who have desperately needed shot makers to make some shots, right? And I think phrasing that is purposeful because boy, oh boy, do they have shot makers just not making shots right now. And maybe it'll change around, maybe it'll flip. Hope that is the expectation. But again, another big win coming off the bench for them. They need more ball handlers. They need more shot creators. They need more shot makers. And right now, they have shot creators, but they're not making their shots. Robin Scholl, what up, Robin? We get over to the Atlanta Hawks, and of course, it all starts with Trae Young, but unfortunately for Trae Young, he is out right now with an MCL sprain, so we're going to jump right over Trae Young. No need to really spend too much time talking about him. And so the star for tonight for the Atlanta Hawks will indeed be Jalen Johnson, who obviously will be matched up against Paolo Banchero, a power forward duel here tonight. 21.2 points per game for Jalen Johnson, 9 boards, 5 assists. I'm going to say something a little crazy, but I think Jalen Johnson is who everybody believes Paolo Banchero is. Yep, I said it. 58.4% from the field, 80% from the foul line, only 15% from three-point range. He's just kind of lost confidence in his three-point shooting. Boy, oh boy, is that eventually going to pick up? And it needs to pick up for the Atlanta Hawks, who obviously got off to a very slow start to start the year. Both of these teams come in tonight, by the way, 3-4 on the season, so pretty big game here in the Eastern Conference. Obviously early, none of it really matters in the long term, but a pretty big litmus test for both of these teams to see where they stand against each other as they will be battling pretty much the whole season for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th slots in the Eastern Conference standings. 1.5 steals for Jalen Johnson, 0.3 blocks, 2.3 turnovers to 5 assists is probably like a pretty decent number for a high usage forward who is a secondary playmaker for the team. You get over to Kristaps Porzingis, and he continues to be one of the weirdest players in the league, right? Porzingis seems to be dealing with the same mysterious injury or illness from last year. Like most of his career, if he can get on the court, he can still be really effective. The issue is getting him and keeping him on the court. He's averaging 18.2 points per game this year, 7 boards, 3.4 assists. Very similar to his statistics last year, even right down to the percentages, 50% from the floor, 37% from three-point line. This is pretty much what you can expect from Porzingis throughout the year. Maybe a little bit more block, a little bit more rim protection, but at the same time, maybe the illness and the injuries are going to be too much for him to overcome, and this is kind of what you're going to get from him throughout the year. These are still really solid numbers for a starting center, especially when you have a guy like, what's his name in the back? Watcher, what's up, Watcher? Porzingis is trash? Hey, man, he's still really effective when he's able to be out on the court. The issue is him being able to be out on the court. David Hodge Jr., what's up, David? What was I saying about Porzingis? Oh, they have a really good backup big for him coming off the bench and Onyeka Okongwu, so they can afford to sit him down a little bit and start Okongwu, who we will get to. Get over to the third guy for this team, and it should be Dyson Daniels, but boy, oh boy, is Dyson Daniels gotten off to a really rough offensive start to the year. The defense is always going to be there. Defensive playmaker, 2.6 steals per game, 0.6 blocks, but only 9 points per game, shooting under 50% from the field, but 25% from three-point range. He started to turn around the last couple of games. I believe he scored 18 in each of the last 2. Daniels has really struggled to start the year, but is slowly starting to regain last year's form. The defense, like I said, we know is going to be there, but he needs to be a secondary ball handler creator alongside Trae Young in the starting lineup. And so far to start the year, he has not been that. But he's starting the round in the form. We'll see if that trend is going to continue here tonight. You get over to Zachary Rizachet. And a little bit of a disappointing start for Zachary Rizachet to start his sophomore season. Only 9.4 points per game, only 1.6 rebounds and 1.2 assists. So even outside of scoring, the fact that the scoring is down sucks. But even outside of that, the other intangible things, just not doing at all so far to start the year. Now, hopefully this will turn around as the season goes on. But 1 steal, 0.6 blocks, 0.8 turnovers to 1.2 assists is really rough. And speaking of rough, you get over to his percentages. 42% from the field is not good, especially for a 6'8 wing who's really playing off ball right now. Like, got to be able to finish. 31.6% from three-point range. When he came in, he was known as a guy who can do a little bit of everything, but especially knock down a perimeter shot. The fact that the perimeter shot is not going down and he's not finishing in the paint, as a number 1 overall pick, should have the Atlanta Hawks a little bit worried right now. Rizachet is also off to a slow start, and as a number 1 pick, the Hawks are going to need a lot out of him as the season continues. So again, hopefully for the Hawks, it's just a slow start, and he'll start the round in the form as the season goes on. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was the big offseason acquisition for the Atlanta Hawks. Some people would say it's Kristaps Porzingis. I think it's Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who is a consistent Iron Man in the NBA. The guy doesn't miss a ton of time, has dealt with some injuries throughout his career, but he should be readily available for the Atlanta Hawks coming off the bench. Right now, averaging 17 points per game, but it's on pretty piss-poor percentages. 42% from the field, 27% from three-point range. You would think that he's going to turn that around, but playing with a lot less talent than he did in Minnesota, playing alongside Julius Randle, Karl-Anthony Towns, Naj Reid off the bench, Anthony Edwards, obviously, Jaden McDaniels. He's kind of finding it a lot more difficult with the ball in his hands. Here in Atlanta, it's going to be a big adjustment for him, so we'll see if he's going to be able to overcome it. But 17 points per game off the bench, a lot of shots in order to get to these 17 points. Only 3 rebounds and 3.4 assists. Again, a lot of guys taking a lot of shots, and not a ton of guys doing a ton of the other small things that should help you win, right? So it's been a little bit of a rough start for the Atlanta Hawks. Efficiency has been terrible, but he is providing points. The defense has been, as advertised thus far, for Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Him alongside Dyson Daniels is still wreaking havoc defensively out on the perimeter against teams. Go over to the backup big, Onyeka Okongwu, who was in line for a big season this year and still might be in line for a big season this year. 14 points per game off the bench, 8.6 rebounds, 2.3 assists. I think at this point they should just pull the trigger and go full starting 5 for Onyeka Okongwu. 53% from the field, almost 40% from three-point range, obviously on very low efficiency, but the fact that he could step out and occasionally take a 3 and make it is very important for this Hawks team, very important for the continued development of the combination of Trae Young and Jalen Johnson as they continue to build that chemistry. Okongwu spent years behind Capella and will finally have a bigger role. The scoring is up, and he's shooting threes efficiently to start the year. And like I said, even though it's on low volume, the fact that he can step out there and every now and again splash a 3 is very important for the Hawks' offense and very important for his continued development. Get over to Luke Kennard, the elder statesman coming off the bench for this team. Luke Kennard is just kind of providing what he has always provided throughout his career. The numbers aren't going to blow you away. 9 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, only 1.3 turnovers. Okay. 47% from three-point range so far, 52% from the field, 90% from the foul line, 50, 40, 90 is probably what he's going to shoot this year. And obviously off the bench in limited minutes and whatnot because he can't really move or play defense anymore after, the constant knee injuries and where he is in his NBA journey. But Luke Kennard's solid. As a solid 8th, 9th man off the bench, he's good. He's good. Keenan Hara, what's up, Keenan Hara? MBM, what's up, MBM? Deadly shooter who can now play off of Trae Young's gravity, who obviously isn't available tonight. His poor defense is also insulated by Daniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, so you could run a 3-guard set between him, Alexander-Walker, and Dyson Daniels and still be able to insulate him by putting him on the worst perimeter player out on the court. And that's where we're going to wrap up our little pregame real quick, right? That takes us right to 8 o'clock. We should be ready to go for the tip-off in about 10 minutes. But both of these teams, this is an NBA matchup here. NBC NBC matchup here tonight, nationally televised game. It's going to be a fun night. I do believe both of these teams are going to lock in here tonight because, like I said, this is a good litmus test for both of them as they started off really slowly, kind of mirroring each other. Both teams started off really slowly, losing some games they shouldn't have lost. And now starting to round in the form a little bit. Both of them sitting at 3-4. The winner will obviously reach 500. The other one will drop to 2 games under 500 to 3-5, which is not where you want to be 8 games into the season if you fancy yourself as one of the dark horses who can compete for the Eastern Conference this year. Obviously, really early in the year, but it's nice to see where you stand with your compatriots and your competitors this season. So the Magic, much more healthy than the Hawks are, but still a good litmus test for the Hawks here tonight. MBM said evenly matched teams should be a good game. Would have been better if Trae Young were available, but it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like here tonight. What the Hawks look like here tonight. Keenar said, I'm disappointed in both of these teams. I got them both over seasoned wins, and they're both going under so far. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. I think it's been disappointing that both of them got off to a really slow start, and there wasn't one of them that got off to the start that I think some people may have expected them to. Here we are, getting ready for the game, staying nice and hydrated. It's also great scouting as a Knicks fan to sit here and watch 2 Eastern Conference rivals, 2 teams who probably have the belief coming into the year that they can shock the Cavs and the Knicks, who are obviously the 2 teams that everyone's just kind of penciling in as the top 2 teams in the conference, and everybody else will fill out down below. But nobody really saw the 76ers coming out the way that they have they? The Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Miami Heat. They're taking on the Chicago Bulls. The top 2 teams in the Eastern Conference this season. Bucks Raptors have already tipped off. I said Sixers and Bulls a total surprise. Yeah. I think the 76ers could maintain this. I think the Chicago Bulls, I'd be surprised if they win more than 44 games. I'll put their ceiling at 44 games, which is still pretty high, but that still leaves you in about average. Hornets Pelicans are the other game. Come on, green screen, you embarrassing me again? Like I said, I have a fix for that. I should be able to fix it tomorrow. And I won't have to worry about the green screen messing with us anymore. But we're going to have to wait one more day. Should be ready for the Knicks game tomorrow. Big game tomorrow, by the way. Knicks taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Also, should point out that Anthony Edwards was initially listed as out with for 2 weeks with, I think, a calf strain or something like that, a hamstring strain, something like that, a muscle strain. And so he was initially listed out for 2 weeks. It's been 1 week since that diagnosis, or that prognosis, and he's listed as questionable for tomorrow night's game. Now, who thinks he's actually not going to get suited up to play in the Garden? Because everybody magically gets healed before they have to play in Madison Square Garden. So I'm expecting a fully healthy Minnesota Timberwolves team with a red-hot Julius Randle. Should be a good game in the Garden tomorrow night. MBM said they will fall back into place. Sixers, Philly. Nice start, though. I don't know, man. They're going to get Jared McCain back any minute now. I believe tomorrow he's scheduled to make his return. I think he's listed as probable for tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see what it looks like when you got Maxey playing at an MVP level. You have VJ Edgecombe as this revelation of a rookie. You're going to bring McCain back into the mix. You got Quentin Grimes coming in off the bench. You got this 4-guard lineup. Not lineup, but this 4-guard rotation where all 4 of them are pretty spectacular. like the Embiid thing is weird, and the Paul George thing is gonna be an interesting thing to mix into the team. But I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised to see Boston win close to 50 games this year, if not 50. They're off to a really good start. I'm not looking down on Philly. Not with the start that they've had so far. I'm pretty impressed. Just that to Julius Randle, who already forgot about you. Already forgot about him. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Played well for the Knicks. Played his butt off, even if he was frustrating at times. But still, shout out Julius Randle, hooping, playing his butt off right now. Probably some of the best basketball in his career right now to start the year, which is a far cry from how he used to start the year for the Knicks. Remember, he had probably the worst start in NBA history of any high usage player a couple years ago. He eventually turned it around, but it was a rough start. MBM said, everyone plays in the Mecca. Walking Dead comes to play. Yep. I would be surprised if Anthony Edwards is not made available tomorrow night to play against the Knicks in the Garden. The late game, by the way, the Thunder are taking on the Clippers. Not interested in watching the Clippers play one bit. Suns taking on the Warriors, and after a pretty hot start for the Warriors, they have dropped their last 3, all of them on the road. They're 4-3 on the season. They're undefeated at home, similar to the Knicks. Suns are winless on the road. MEM said, love Juju, but I don't miss him. Don't miss him either. Wish him well down there in Minnesota, but I've moved on. I said, talk about big-time guards in Philly. How about Luka Reeves in L.A., and that group in San Antonio, Castle, Harper, and Fox? Yeah, we haven't even seen Fox yet. There's some good guard rotations around the league. Right? Here's the issue. There's a lot of teams right now not starting point guards because they don't have them. Like, Dallas isn't starting a point guard. There's another team not starting a point guard right now. The Minnesota Timberwolves starting Dante DiVincenzo a point guard. He's obviously not a point guard. And then you got teams like Philadelphia, teams like San Antonio that are just stockpiling point guards right now. Fantastic point guards. MEM said, no Edwards, another dub. I think even with Edwards, we'll be able to get the dub, but it would obviously be a lot harder if Edwards does indeed play. Robin said, Clippers are good, but got beat by the Heat. I don't know if the Clippers are good. David said, I worry about Detroit more than any other team. It's early in the year, and Detroit has been fantastic. Cade Cunningham got off to a little slow start, but boy, oh boy, he's been hooping his butt off. He had like 18 assists the other night, so like 1 or turnover or 0 turnovers or something. He's been a world beater. Sebastian Camden, what's up, Sebastian? Magic Star yet? They are starting in about 2 minutes. They're doing the player introductions for the home team, Atlanta Hawks, and then we will get right to the tip-off. Justice is Dad, adding some context here. I love it, Justice Dad. Keep providing it, my brother. So this will be the second of 4 meetings between the Hawks and the Magic this season. Atlanta won the first match, 111-107, on October 24th, earlier in the year. In Orlando, the club split last year's season series 2 games apiece. Great information. I didn't even realize that the Hawks and Magic have played each other already this season. This is the second meeting between these two teams. Who won the first one? Atlanta won the first one, so obviously down Trae Young. Orlando's going to look to make a statement tonight here on NBC. Robin said that the 5 seed is early. Robin. I don't think the Clippers are very good at all. We have yet to get the Kawhi is going to be out for the next 25 games moment yet. So when that happens, I'm sure they will fall further down the standings. Would not be surprised to see them in the play-in. Would not be surprised to see them miss the play-in entirely and tank at some point, or the tank route. MBM said, what's the talk about Ja? We don't need it, in my opinion. There is no talk about Ja, at least not from the New York Knicks side. The only talk about Ja Morant is that he's been a little bit of a head case in Memphis, and if he were to be traded, you're looking at teams in the Western Conference like Sacramento, like New Orleans, teams that need another star, that need another ball handler, that need a guy to juice their team real quick. Knicks are not interested, my brother. Boom Pei said, when you have a weird Embiid thing. The thing with Embiid on Philly right now is he hasn't cost them too much. Like, he hasn't been good. Obviously, he's been pretty bad to start the year, both offensively and defensively. And yet it hasn't really cost Philadelphia yet. As a matter of fact, speaking of, let me look at Philadelphia's record real quick. They are playing the Bulls tonight, which is an interesting matchup. Both teams at 5-1, standing atop the Eastern Conference alone, those two teams. Not the Bulls. That's not who I wanted to see. We're getting to the tip right now. Real quick, let me look at Philly's season so far and who they played, who they've beaten. Boston, who we know is a little bit rough. Charlotte, who we know is a little bit rough to start the year. They did beat Orlando. That was early in the year when Orlando was really struggling. Then they had Washington. So, all right, then they had Boston again. They did lose to Boston that time in a really close game. And then they played Brooklyn. So a really, really soft schedule for the Philadelphia 76ers to start the year. So maybe I'm being too high on Philadelphia here as they start to play better teams. They're playing Chicago tonight. And you got Cleveland. And you got maybe a little bit of an easier time with Toronto. But then you got Detroit. You got Boston again. 3 times in a month against Boston. And you got Detroit again. And you got the Clippers, Toronto again. Milwaukee's good. Miami's good. Orlando again. Later in November. Brooklyn, Atlanta, Washington, Golden State, Milwaukee. All right, so once we start getting to December, they start playing tougher teams. They do have a random Brooklyn game thrown in there, but we're just going to have to keep an eye on Philadelphia. They got a little bit of a soft schedule to start the year. We'll see if they'll be able to take that momentum as the season goes on. Let's get to our Gamecast years. We're starting it off. Here we go. That's what Trey's wearing gear looks like. He might have had to get dressed in order for Atlanta to reach the required number of active players, but he is not going to be playing tonight. Robinson, once they put in George, they suck. We'll see. Maybe Paul George has a bounce-back season in him, and we don't know. Here we go for the tip. Wendell Carter Jr. against Porzingis, and Orlando wins the tip, and here we go. Suggs up top to Banchero, hands it off to Bane. I got the wrong thing. I don't want my mic. Bane gets it over to Franz Wagner. Sprays it over to Bane, coming off the stagger screen. Now Bane has it up top. Gets it knocked out of his hands by Alexander Walker. Now over to Banchero in the corner. Pump fakes. Doesn't leave his feet. Oh, no, that's Wendell Carter Jr., excuse me, not Paolo. Hit Porzingis with the pump fake, then drove it along the baseline. Got the nice lefty scoop layup to go for our first basket of the night. Daniels has it up top, being guarded by Wagner. They get it over to Riza Shea. Riza Shea's going to fire a 3 up the screen and rattle it in over Bane. Here comes Suggs. Suggs leaves it up top for Banchero. Banchero back to Suggs. Suggs, jab step, coming to his left, pocket pass to Banchero, all the way to the rim, kicks it out. They swing it around. Bane catches it on the run, down the lane, leaves it off inside the Banchero, but knocked out of bounds by Porzingis. Got to move a little bit quicker than that if you're Bane. Jay Hammer said, schedule favor 76ers playing Boston a lot early when Embiid is likely to be healthy. Yeah, but Embiid hasn't been good. Banchero gets the interior pass from Suggs from the baseline and knocks down a little floater. 4-3 to start. Johnson up top to Porzingis. Hands it off to Johnson. Johnson coming to his right, driving it down, kicks it out to Daniels. Daniels catches, pump fakes, driving it in on Wagner, spins in the lane, leaves it off for an easy layup for Riza Shea as he got beat by Desmond Bane, and Desmond Bane getting taken right to school by the rookie right now. And the rookie's showing up here on the nationally televised game, which is very good because he's obviously been struggling to start the year to find his place and his rhythm on this team. Keenar said, love the young Spurs. They are fun to watch. They are very fun to watch. Riza Shea at the foul line knocks down the first one. And here comes Suggs bringing it down. Suggs has it up top. Gets it over to Banchero, coming to his right, driving it down, step back, pump fakes, leans in, throws up the floater, and he gets it to go down. Not settling for the low jump shot, settling his feet, playing off a 2, and shooting floaters instead of falling away with jump shots that have not worked out for him to start his career. Johnson has it up top being guarded by Banchero. He's going to settle for the 3. He's been misfiring all season long. Misses that one. Long rebound over to Wagner. Wagner bringing it down against Daniels. Has it on the right wing. Coming to his left off the Wendell Carter Jr. screen. Daniels does a good job holding him up. Wagner's going to pull it out as Porzingis forced to switch. 10 on the shot clock now. Wagner probing again. Scoops it up with the left hand. Way off. Maybe Porzingis got a piece of it. Johnson out in transition. Sprays it over to Alexander Walker. Gets caught in the air. And he's going to get hit with a travel. Good closeout from Jalen Suggs to force Alexander Walker to not be able to shoot it. And it ends up being a turnover. Ball going back the other way. Jay Hammer said Silver setting up another Spurs dynasty. Hey, man, he may have played a hand into it. Maybe. Those, the Wemby pick and then the Dylan Harper pick. Foul away from the ball. Alexander Walker, I believe, gets hit with a foul call on Banchero as they were fighting for positioning down low. MBM said, are we saying collusion? Don't ever say it. Straight Path. What's up, Straight Path? Hope if Giannis ever leaves the Bucks, he ends up with Wemby at the Spurs. Those two together in attack and defense would be crazy. It would be too crazy. It would be insane. Banchero bringing it down. We're under 10 minutes here. Bane coming to his right. Pass fake. Back up top to Banchero. A pull-up straightaway 3. Can't get it to go. Suggs snatches the offensive rebound. Pump fake, leans in, draws the foul on Porzingis. He's going to send him to the foul line for 2 free throws. With 9:23 exactly to go here. Phil, what's up, Phil? I'm glad to see you doing an Eastern Conference Finals preview. I forgot my man Phil. Well, I still won't say your last name because I know what you're trying to do, Phil. Come on, big dog. I know your name's not Phil. I forget you're a Magic fan. Suggs at the foul line, knocks down the first one. Bernard Johnson, what's up, Bernard? How am I doing? I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? Suggs able to knock down both free throws. 9:20 to go here. Suggs guarding Alexander Walker full court. Walker has it up top, coming to his left to get it over to Porzingis. Porzingis mid-post. Hits Ricochet, cutting back door on Bane, draws the foul, and gets another layup. That's 2 fouls on Desmond Bane. And the second and 1 for Zachary Ricochet. Just picking on Desmond Bane's defense here. Why you have Bane guarding Ricochet right now? Not entirely sure. Don't love that. Ricochet's got a serious height and wingspan advantage over Bane. And the Hawks went right at that mismatch. Ricochet knocks down his second and 1 free throw of the game. Gave a point to the wrong side. It's 9-8 for the Hawks. Franz Wagner has it up top, being guarded by Daniels. Coming to his left off the Carter Jr. screen. Snaking it down the lane. Kicks it out the last second. Ball still loose. Daniels able to pick it up. Johnson was the guy who initially got his fingertip on it. Porzingis bringing it down now. Picks up his handle. Suggs chasing it. They can't get it. No foul call. They get it, swing it over to Alexander Walker. Driving it down against Banchero. Scoop layup. Smokes the layup. Fight for the rebound. Wendell Carter Jr. snags the rebound and saves it over to Bane. Quick hit ahead to Suggs. Suggs behind the back pass to nobody. But Paolo able to save it. Tries to throw it off of Porzingis. Really sloppy play here from both sides. Jalen Johnson the other way. Gets swatted by Suggs in transition. But they do call a foul on Jalen Suggs. And Suggs is not happy about the foul calls here. Or the lack thereof. I said, really not impressed with Bane, disappointing in Memphis, and now possibly dragging Orlando down. Not entirely sure that the coach has done a good job of organizing the offense around the star players that he has right now. But we will find out, because the guy who's going to be on the hot seat after the front office made moves that seemingly should have been complimentary to the team in terms of acquiring Desmond Bane, the second straight time in which the head coach has failed to free up a really good shooter. First time was with KCP last year, now with Desmond Bane here. Jalen Suggs has it up top, coming to his left off the Banchero screen, leaves it off inside the Wendell Carter Jr. in the paint, pump fakes, goes up, smokes the layup. Jonathan did knock down both of his free throws. They throw a lob over to Rizachet. He smokes the reverse dunk, but snags his own offensive rebound and throws up a little one-footed floater. And it looks like Atlanta is getting off to a hot start here and is looking to run the Magic out of the gym right now. 13-8 start here for the Atlanta Hawks. I said Orlando coached their butt off last year. We're competitive despite massive injuries. Yeah. But you get judged on a year-to-year basis in the NBA. Look at Tom Thibodeau. I thought he had a really disappointing year last year, and it did not matter what he did the previous years. You get judged on a year-to-year basis. And if Jamal Mosley, there were signs that Jamal Mosley maybe hasn't been the greatest coach, a good development coach, but there are signs. I like Jamal Mosley as a head coach, but there comes a time where you want to pull yourself away from mediocrity. Right now, they're in the middle. Pacers Nation and WWE Superfan was popping, my guy. MBM said Atlanta will always play harder without Trey. Might not win, but the effort will be there. I think part of it, I think it's a two-part issue there. I think the first one is the fact that the insinuation is that Trae Young doesn't play that hard, obviously specifically defense. But I think it's part of that, but also when you're playing without your star point guard, everybody knows that you have to play a little bit harder because you're going to need to step it up defensively in order to pick up a win that day. Robin said, I hope Bulls win tonight. Joel, the crybaby. What's up, Nick Yak? The first fix I heard was the league fixing Kareem to Milwaukee. I'm sure the league has had a hand multiple times in terms of directing players to certain situations. Not all the time, and not directly in terms of you're going here to there, but they've had a hand in terms of pushing players to certain places. I'm pretty sure of it. Makes a ton of sense. MBM said he's not going to last, hard to say. We talking about Jamal Mosley, head coach of the Magic? Probably. The 76ers taking it to the Bulls early. And we look real quick to see who's starting. Embiid is starting. Oubre, Trendon Watford in the starting lineup along with Quentin Grimes. Are we bringing Edgecombe off the bench, or is Grimes is coming off the bench. Edgecombe got the start. Okay, Wofford and Grimes coming off the bench. That's what's happening. And Philly taking it right to Chicago. Oro, Buzelis, Vucevic, Trey Jones, Josh Giddey. Yeah, the same starting lineup. Herter, Patrick Williams. I mean, we'll see. We'll see how this game continues to go on. It's a 13-point game. Not too crazy. The three-point shooting finally starting to regress a little bit. They are 2 for 6 from 3. Philly is 7 for 10. So, magnet ball game for Philadelphia right now. Can't miss from 3. Maxi's 4 for 6 from 3. Tyrese Maxi's off to an insanely hot start. But here we go. Back into our game. Anthony Black has subbed in. He's bringing it down now. We're under 8 minutes to go here. Black gets it over to Paolo. And an offensive foul on Tristan Da Silva, sending an illegal screen, off-ball screen. Ball going back to Atlanta. Not what you want to see coming out of a timeout. You're the Magic. Bernard Johnson said, I can't wait for the Knicks to play them, to play the Sixers. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good game, I'll tell you that, because obviously both of those teams have a history playing in the playoffs a couple of years ago. Porzingis has it in the high post, left wing, being guarded by Wendell Carter Jr., leans in, pump fake, step back, baseline fall-away jumper, can't get it to go. Banchero comes in for the rebound. He's pushing it the other way. Jalen Johnson going to pick him up. Banchero is going to take him to the basket, gets under the rim, kicks it out. Suggs, extra pass. Wagner, pump fake, driving to his right. Down the lane, stops, turns, spins, inside. Scoop layup for Da Silva. Gets the nice righty hook to go over Nickeil Alexander-Walker, using his height to his advantage there. 13-10, 7:15 to go here. Alexander-Walker coming to his left. Anthony Black sticking with him, Get it out to Daniels, blows right past Wagner. Daniels kicks it out. They swing it over to Johnson, a right corner three. Again, he's been misfiring from 3. Knocks that one down right there. Very confident shooting stroke from him right now. That's his second 3-point attempt so far tonight. Banchero has it up top off the handoff, dancing with it now against Johnson. Banchero driving to his right, leans in, stops, pump fake, sprays it out to Wagner. He's going to pump fake, blow right past Daniels in the lane, steps through, throws up the righty hook. The righty floater, can't get it to go down, fight for the rebound. Wendell Carter Jr. had it, lost it, ball still loose. Carter Jr. dives on it, saves it over to Black. Black spins, up top to Banchero. Banchero, jab step, now puts up the three. They're going to dare him to shoot, continues to shoot him, continues to misfire from that range. Daniels with the Ricochet with the weak side rebound. Here comes Alexander Walker, driving to his right off the Porzingis screen, down the lane, tried to shoot the floater, gets blocked by Black. Here comes Banchero in transition. Euro steps down the lane for the two-handed slam right past Jalen Johnson. And it's going to be a fun night watching those two players go back and forth. Alexander Walker dancing with it, coming to his right, has it on the right wing, picked up his handle, gets it over to Johnson, throws it over the top to Porzingis. A bad pass. But they do call a foul on, I believe, Carter Jr., holding on to Porzingis there. I said, I want to see Yabu go for Embiid's knees the way Embiid went at Mitch. That's crazy. Kinohara also said Oubre has been stepping up. He has. I did turn into an Oubre fan for a little bit there, but a little inconsistent. Always kind of scared me a little bit in that regard. But he has been playing well for Philly to start the year. They get it into Alexander Walker. Cross-court pass to Johnson, but they call a foul before that. Another foul on the Magic there. They're going to put in Atlanta. Oh, they are in the bonus. They are in the bonus. We're going to get free throws out of it? Or are they in the bonus now? Goga Batadze subs in. The Magic out there with Banchero, De Silva, Batadze, Tyus Jones, and Anthony Black. The Hawks are out there with Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Onyeka Okongwu, Mo Gay, and Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard is at the foul line. They are in the bonus, so Kennard's going to get 2 free points here because that man does not miss from the foul line. MBM said, Maxey, the real deal. Always a good, clean game when we play Philly. Maxey is the real deal, for sure. I said, Oubre is a nice look. I got nothing I want to say about Bronny other than he has a good soul. Bronny played well the other night. Shout out Bronny. Atlanta knocks down both of their free throws. To be expected. With Luke Kennard at the line. 18-12 here. Banchero has it up top, being guarded by Mo Gay. Hits the Silva cutting back door. Tries to hit Batadze in the paint. And turns it over. Bad passing decisions here from the Magic. Johnson driving it down. Tries to get it over to Luke Kennard. Good hustle from De Silva to knock the ball out of bounds. Hustling back on defense. Alexander Walker going to inbound it under the basket. Gets it over to Kennard. Kennard stops, turns, spins, tries to kick it out. Had nowhere to go, and the Magic come up with the steal. Banchero quickly pushing the other way. Up top to Black. Crosses over, down the lane, scoop blade with the right hand. Got it to go. Good slash and attack from Anthony Black there. Here comes Alexander Walker pushing the other way. Crosses over, down the lane, spins, kicks it out. Kennard, wide open, left wing three. That's the guy you can't leave open. But thankfully, he missed for the Magic there. Black has it up top, fakes the handoff, steps back, gets it over to Banchero. Banchero calling for a screen, coming to his right. Stops, spins, has it at the foul line, down the lane, scoop blade with the right hand, can't get it to go, trying to grab his own offensive rebound. Johnson rips it right out of his hands, and he's going to push it the other way. Go all the way for the easy lefty layup. Okay. He said, who's really the star power forward in this game here tonight? Literally took candy away from Banchero in that situation. Tyus Jones up top to get it over to De Silva. Lines up a three off a screen, gets it to go down. De Silva has been huge for the Magic here this season to start. Okongwu hands it off to Alexander Walker. He's looking to answer with a three of his own. He can't get it to go. Batadze with the rebound. Here comes Banchero. Hit ahead to Jones. Jones tries to get the hit ahead to Anthony Black, but knocked out of bounds by Alexander Walker. Chris Baskerville, what's up, Chris? Pacers Nation said, I'm tired of seeing the Pacers losing time and time again. I have to go to one of their games. I'll do whatever it takes for my city if we win. If I was there, the Pacers would have won. Yeah, it sucks when your team's having a losing season. And you really want to go see them, but you know it might not be worth it. Anthony Black had it, lost the handle, picks it back up, shot clock down to 5. He's going to drive it down in the lane. He tried to kick it out the last second. Another turnover. How many times have the Magic drove and tried to make the same kick-out pass that is not available? Alexander Walker all the way to the rim. Gets the smooth lefty layup to go down. Jones has it up top. Gets it over in the corner. Anthony Black, and no hesitation, left corner three, can't get it to go. Good box down and rebound from Mo Gay there. Here comes Jalen Johnson pushing it the other way. Johnson has it up top, being guarded by De Silva. Cross-court pass to Kennard. And an offensive foul on Okongwu, fighting for positioning with Anthony Black. Ball's going to go the other way. Shot callers. What's up, shot callers? Chris Bashville said, how about those Knicks with the bounce back? I tried to tell people it was always going to bounce back. Some people thought they were going to stay bad forever. Come on. Bataze hands it off to Black, driving it down, throws a lob up to Bataze for the easy slam. Bad defense from the Hawks there. Great offense from the Magic. Simple pick-and-roll play, simple handoff and screen. Kennard has it up top, 3:30 to go. Gets it over to Alexander Walker, spins off the defender, splits the double team, spins off of Jonathan Isaac now. Behind the back pass, inside, they kick it out. Mo Gay, a left corner three, and he gets it to go down. Great ball movement from the Hawks there, able to generate a wide-open corner three. Tyus Jones coming to his right up the Bataze screen, kicks it in the corner to Jonathan Isaac. He's trying to answer. He can't, misses, comes up short on the three. Here comes Alexander Walker pushing the other way. It's a 6-point lead right now for Atlanta. Alexander Walker up top. Okongwu, no hesitation, straight away three. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Isaac with the rebound. Here comes Banchero pushing the other way. Oh, excuse me, that's Anthony Black. They get it over to Tyus Jones. Banchero has subbed out for Isaac. Tyus Jones, pocket pass to Bataze, kicks it in the corner, extra pass. Anthony Black, a left wing three. Well short, but De Silva right there for the offensive rebound. Now back out to Tyus Jones, can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. And a loose ball foul. A loose ball foul on the Hawks. On the Magic. Ball's going to go to the Hawks here. Shot Collins said, who do the Knicks have next? They have the Minnesota Timberwolves tomorrow, Shot Collins. And Anthony Edwards has been out for 1 week with, I believe, a hamstring strain. I believe it's a hamstring strain. I can double check that. But it's a muscle strain in his leg. And he was initially ruled out for 2 weeks. But he was upgraded to questionable going into tomorrow's game. So you know the Stars always want to play in the Garden. We'll likely see him tomorrow. MBM reminded me to hit the like button. Appreciate you, MBM. Absolutely. If you're enjoying yourself, go ahead, hit that like button. I said Pacers fan booed Miles Turner and Giannis was sticking up for him. I don't know. I kind of see in the Indiana fans' perspective, but if I'm Miles, I'm definitely going for the bag myself. He wanted to stay with the Pacers, and they reneged on their initial, backdoor handshake agreement, which, happens all the time in business, let alone in the NBA. But, you have to have a no hard feelings attitude towards it. And Miles Turner podcast appearance right before going back to Indiana did not ingratiate himself to maybe some fans he maybe had remaining there who understood his perspective. I think if he would have just told his story of, I would have loved to stay in Indiana, but the way the front office treated me, I felt disrespected, and so I had to go. I went to the team that really appreciated me, that has always wanted me, and that's Milwaukee, and I understand that's going to bother fans who obviously there was some testy moments between Indiana and Milwaukee the last couple of years, but it was the best situation for me and the best opportunity for me and my family. I think fans would have understood that him saying something like that. But of course he didn't say something like that because he's an NBA player, and these NBA players don't know how to speak publicly about situations like that. They're always going to say the wrong thing. It feels like they say the wrong thing every single time. Pacers Nation said, I was looking at the NBA draft in 2026, and it seems to me they might draft LeBron? I don't know. But I will say the 2026 draft is absolutely stacked. Absolutely stacked. We are also keeping an eye on this Bulls 76ers game, and that's a blowout. 45 points in the first quarter for the 76ers is kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. I said, with fans, you got to be straight. I think you just got to come out and say, yeah, I kind of went for the cash. Wouldn't you? And fans get that. We really do. I don't think he went for the cash, though. I think he would have stayed with the Pacers if they were just honest with him as situations were going down. But as he explained it, they weren't honest. They reneged on the initial agreement that they were going to take care of him, which I understand from the Pacers organization. Like, things changed. Halliburton got hurt. We don't want to go into the luxury tax, all of the things. But, like, you could be hurt and betrayed by that. And I think people would have understood that. I think people would have understood it. Okongwu at the foul line knocks down the first free throw. It was a foul on the Magic, by the way. That's why Okongwu is going to be at the free throw line here. But you're right at the point, Kinahara, about just being honest with fans. I think they would definitely understand that. 2:30 to go here in the first quarter. Wendell Carter Jr. is back in along with Franz Wagner, Jonathan Isaac, Tyus Jones, and Anthony Black. Jones up top, pocket pass to Wendell Carter Jr., kicks it in the corner to Isaac. He's going to pump fake, draws two defenders down the lane for an easy two-handed slam. Good decision from him. I thought maybe it was going to kick it out to a shooter there, but he had the free, easy layup. Definitely take the layup every time. Okongwu hands it off to Daniels. Daniels is going to dance with it. Crossover to his left. Spins to his right off of Wendell Carter Jr. Knocks down the nice floater. That's more like last year's Dyson Daniels right there. Good move from him. 21-28 here. I don't know why my score was off there, but 21-28. Anthony Black kicks it out to Wendell Carter Jr. Way off on the three-point attempt there. Dyson Daniels with the rebound, bringing it down. Now he's going to put his head down, look to attack, stops in the lane, he's got nowhere to go, leaves it off for Mo Gay. He's going to pull it back out. He picks up his hand off the one dribble. Can't do that, Mo Gay. Can't do that. They kick it out to Vic Krejci. Back to Mo Gay in the corner. Can't get the lefty three to go, or the left corner three to go, excuse me. Hit ahead over to Wagner down the lane. Gets blocked by Mo Gay. But I believe they're going to hit him with a foul. So Franz Wagner will go to the foul line for two free throws here. 1:22 to go here in this first quarter. Pacers Nation said, it's not LeBron. You pronounce it incorrectly. LeBaron Go look him up. He plays for Alabama. He's a point guard. All right. We'll see. We'll see. This next draft looks absolutely stacked. Absolutely stacked. You got Darren Peterson. You got A.J. DeBansta. You have, who's the other guy? Cam Boozer over at Duke. Absolutely stacked draft. And after the first games the other night, boy, oh boy, does it look like there's more guys coming. Mikael Brown Jr., who's the kid, Haynes Steinbach? I mean, just nonstop guys I could list right now. Okongwu hands it off to Kennard. Kennard in the lane, little fall-away jumper, got it to go. Orlando's defense, not very impressive to start the game here tonight. Anthony Black gets it over to Wendell Carter Jr. Carter Jr. hands it off to Black. Black down the lane, steps through. Scooblet with the right hand, can't get it to go. Long rebound. Vic Krejci gets a running start, just beats Trey Jones down the court, and he gets an easy two-handed slam out of it. Bad floor balance from Orlando there to give out the runaway. I gave 2 points to the wrong side, my bad. Under a minute to go here, 40 seconds to go. 23-32, a 9-point lead for Atlanta here. Franz Wagner has it up top, coming to his left now, crossing over. Back to his left, pulls it back out as Mo Gay switches on to him. He's going to settle for the pull-up three. Well short, good contest. Long rebound over to Anthony Black. He steps through, kicks it out to Tyus Jones. Jones in the right corner. Going to pull it out, up top to Anthony Black. Black crosses over to his left. Cross-court pass. Jonathan Isaac, right corner three. They're going to live with that. He throws up an air ball, and that is going to be a shot clock violation for the Orlando Magic there. All of that movement, all of that ball handling, all of that passing, just to throw up an air ball out of the corner from one of their weaker three-point shooters in Jonathan Isaac. You got to understand that the Atlanta Hawks want Jonathan Isaac to shoot, right? You're just playing right into the hands of the defense. They want Jonathan Isaac to shoot threes. Dyson Daniels will bring it down. They have the opportunity to take a double-digit lead here at the end of the first. Daniels coming to his right. Pass fake up top to Kennard. Blows right past the defense. Kicks it out to a wide-open Mo Gay. Mo Gay just hit one earlier. Can't get that one to go. He's now 1 for 3 from three-point range. And maybe Orlando would also like to live with Mo Gay three-point shots as well. I think that's something that great teams recognize this, and I'm not entirely sure that good teams recognize this. I think when you finally recognize this one thing, it can, not always, but it can turn you from a good team to a great team. And that's recognizing that the defense is playing you a specific way so that you end up with open shots from certain players, right? So I'm not sure that the Orlando Magic players and maybe the coaching staff aren't realizing that other teams truly do not give a damn if Jonathan Isaac is wide open in the right corner. He's been wide open multiple times. They will bring multiple defenders to Banchero, to Wagner, to Anthony Black, who are trying to attack the rim. They'll play off of Jonathan Isaac in the corner, and they'll send extra defenders over to protect the rim, forcing these ball handlers to throw an over-the-top pass to the corner to Jonathan Isaac, and defenses won't close out super hard, and they'll go ahead, Jonathan Isaac, shoot that three, brother, because we know you're not a good three-point shooter. And if you hit 6, 7 threes against us tonight and we lose because of it, maybe we weren't supposed to win the game tonight. Maybe the basketball gods just decided that tonight wasn't our night, right? You'll live with that. You will live with that. Win or lose, you're going to live with Jonathan Isaac shooting a bunch of threes. You need to be able to game plan around that as an offense, knowing that Jonathan Isaac's going to be open in the corner, and that's not the guy we want shooting threes. We want layups and dunks and open shots for our best players, our best offensive players, and Jonathan Isaac is not one of those. And on the other end as well, Atlanta generating a couple of wide open looks for Mo Gay out of the left corner. The Orlando Magic are perfectly fine with Mo Gay shooting corner threes all night long, right? And they've played into it multiple times. Take a good team like the Thunder. We could do the Knicks, obviously, because I'm more familiar with the Knicks, but like Josh Hart's open all the time from three-point range. And we say all the time, like, Josh Hart's got to take those shots. Josh Hart's got to take those shots. But he understands, and the Knicks as an organization, a team, a coaching staff, all of them on the court, including Josh Hart, understands defenses want me to shoot this three. You can't play into the defense's hands all the time. Now, Josh Hart needs to take some of those threes, obviously, and knock them down with some level of regularity. But you can't live or die with Josh Hart making threes. Whether or not he's going to make threes tonight is going to be the deciding factor of whether or not you're going to have a functioning offense, right? That can't be the case. Same with the Magic here tonight. Your functioning offense can't live or die with whether or not Jonathan Isaac's going to knock down that corner three. Same with the Atlanta. Your offense can't live or die with Mo Gay shooting that corner three. I said, what? I thought McCain was supposed to miss another few weeks. No, he should be available tomorrow night. He's listed as probable for tomorrow night. Kinar said the Atlanta got screwed the 1 year they win the lottery. It was a terrible draft. Reza Shea is okay. But look at Wemby, Cooper, Dylan Harper, Edgecombe. Yep. You won the lottery in a year where it was one of the worst drafts since 2014, right? Those are the two infamously terrible drafts. Chris said, I didn't realize. Is McCain playing tonight? I thought he was playing tomorrow or Wednesday or whatever. McCain is available tonight. He is back playing. Wow. All right. Well, here we go. Start of the second quarter. We're going to have to go through the box scores as the night continues to check in on them. Kean Wallace is in the game for Atlanta. Up top to Okongwu. He's got nowhere to go. Picks up his handle. Gets it over to Porzingis. Porzingis and Okongwu lineup's interesting. Porzingis attacking. Throws up a righty hook. Can't get it to go. Great defense from Wendell Carter Jr. And he snags the rebound over Porzingis. Jalen Suggs bringing it down. The Magic come out with Wagner, Carter, Bane, Suggs, and Jones. Suggs launches a three. Can't get it to go. Okongwu with the rebound. The Hawks come out with Reza Shea, Porzingis, Daniels, Okongwu, and Wallace. Wallace has it up top. Gets it over to Reza Shea. Reza Shea coming to his left. Driving it down. Blows past the defense. Leans in. He had a layup. Kicks out to Wallace. He's going to settle for the straightaway three. Off the back rim. Can't get it to go. Long rebound finds his way back over to Wallace. Sprays it over to Reza Shea. A deep right wing three. Can't get it to go. Dyson Daniels has the offensive rebound, but knocked out of his hands. Here comes Wagner pushing it the other way. Cross-court pass to Jones. A left corner three from him. Comes up well short, can't get it to go. Keaton Wallace with the rebound. Quick hit ahead to Riza. Riza on the right wing. Settles things down a little bit, waiting for a guard to come get it. Throws it over the top to Okongwu and draws the foul, and Jalen Suggs holding on to Okongwu. Suggs is not a fan of the call at all. Mark, what's up, Mark? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. David Oz Jr. said 20 games, people, then we can talk contenders. Yeah, we just enjoy the basketball for now. Let's see where these teams really end up. There's some fake teams out there. There's some teams that have struggled that we've ruled out, but they will make their comeback. A long season. A long season. Daniels has it up top, dancing with it against Carter Jr. on a switch. Pulls it out, leaves it off for Wallace. Wallace is going to pump fake, go along the baseline, kicks it out. Riza wide open left corner three, and he knocks it down. That's good offense right there. Oh, they call it long too, toe on the line. 23-34, but the first double-digit lead of the night. Wagner out of the corner, pump fakes, driving it down on Daniels, goes up for the layup. Can't get the layup to go down. Fight for the rebound. Wallace, quick, nice outlet pass over to Kennard. I like what Keaton Wallace has brought so far in terms with his energy and his effort. Porzingis driving it down, draws the foul on Carter Jr. Going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws, and Atlanta is rocking and rolling right now. 10-13 to go here in the second quarter. Keaton said, I like Okongwu, underrated. I really like Okongwu. I think Okongwu is a legit starting center in the NBA. The fact that Atlanta has had him coming off the bench for like all 7 years of his career is pretty crazy to me. But hey. Chris Baskerville said Maxey with 20-point first quarter. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Maxey has been hooping to start the year. He has been absolutely in fuego to start the year. Porzingis knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Said Philly completely crushing. We're going to go through the box score. Last time we checked, they were already up 20. Pacers Nation said, as for your prediction for the Pacers NBA draft next year, if we ended up trading for a player, who do you think they should trade for and from what team? Trading your pick for a player, you mean? I don't know. You don't really want John Moran. You got Halliburton. I don't know who's going to be available. Is Giannis going to be available? Are the Bucks going to want that? I mean, the Bucks look fantastic right now. I don't think Giannis is going to be available. Orlando misses yet another layup. Kennard has it on the right wing. Up top to Porzingis. Porzingis hands it off to Daniels. Daniels dancing around a Porzingis screen. Driving to his right. Gets under the rim. Somehow finds its way over to Wallace. Wallace out of the corner. Pulls it all the way up top. They throw it inside the Porzingis with the shot clock at 5. He's going to pump fake, lean in. Puts up the jumper. Got it to go. And the foul on Franz Wagner, who slipped and fell off the pump fake from Porzingis. He got the little all-the-way floating shot to go down, and he draws the foul. That is now a 15-point lead for Atlanta here over Orlando. Who can the Pacers get if they have a nice high lottery pick? First of all, I think you should just take the pick, Pacers Nation. I don't think you should trade the pick at all. I don't know why you would do that. In an absolutely stacked draft this year. The draft is insane. Porzingis rattles in his first free throw. His only free throw because he got the and one. Under 10 to go here. 9:30 to go. Timer's a little bit off. 9:30 to go here. Suggs has it up top. They get it over to Banchero. Banchero coming to his right. Now he's going to look to attack. In the mid-range, kicks over to Bane out of the corner. He's going to pump fake along the baseline. Tried to sneak it inside to Wendell Carter Jr. Gets knocked out of the air. Another steal for Atlanta. Here they come pushing it the other way. They're already up 16 here. Daniels driving it down. Spins off of Bane. Throws up the floater. Rattles in the floater over Bane. Bane has really struggled defensively tonight. Atlanta's going right at him. And another timeout for Orlando as they are now up by 13 points. Atlanta cruising right now. Absolutely cruising. 9:08 to go. Now let's go ahead and look over at this other game real quick. Philly started Jabari Walker tonight. Maxey with 20 points, Edgecombe with 6. Not getting a whole lot, but Maxey is absolutely cooking. Embiid with 9, Oubre with 9. But Maxey's the star of the show right now. Chris said Pacers need a big. They should trade for Valanciunas or someone like that. Denver's not trading Valanciunas. Denver is looking to win a championship. They would not trade Valanciunas for a pick. Also, I mean, if you're talking about this season, Indiana needs a big, but they're not worried about that. They could use their draft pick on a big. We'll see what bigs will be available come draft night, obviously, but there are no superstar bigs that will be available for a high draft pick. Right? Like, thinking about it, who are you going to trade for if you're Indiana? I think you just rely on free agency, on the trade market opening up for a better center, on Isaiah Jackson continually developing. You rely on Jay Huff being a good enough backup. And like I said, free agency trades, they'll pop up. Pop up. No need to rush it right now. No need to rush it. Get Halliburton back. We'll see what he looks like in year one after the injury. Chris said they should trade Ray J. Dennis for Joker. Hey man, Ray J. Dennis is one of those few untouchable players in the league, my man. Can't trade that guy. I said Vanciunas is not the answer unless the question is who's an old guy who plays absolutely awful defense. Very true, Keenar. Very true. We've had our fair share of discussing Jonas Valanciunas and what he does not provide for teams. I don't know why people think Jonas Valanciunas is still a starting caliber big in the NBA, but that's beyond me. The reason why he is now a backup with Denver, and why if Denver did not sign him, he would have been out of the league. He would have been out of the league. My man was fully ready to leave the NBA. Pacers Nation said if the Bucks get a player trading, why not bring Miles back and sign Giannis? I mean, Giannis is looking good, or sign Steph Curry. He's in lock-in mode. Yeah, and while we're at it, why can't we just call up Dallas? We know Nico Harrison loves trading guys, and we'll go ahead and grab Cooper Flagg too. 20-point lead for Philly over Chicago. Chicago really struggling. Giddey's still going off. 13-4-4 for Giddey. Nobody else doing anything, though. Buzelis was 0. Rough night for Buzelis. Did he get hurt? Only played 6 minutes so far? Jalen Smith off the bench, but 9, though. No modest Buzelis would be tough if he got hurt here tonight. I said, yeah, exactly. Call up Nico and ask for Cooper. Yep. Go ahead. While we're at it. While we're just calling teams up about teams and players. Jalen Suggs bringing it down. Banchero is back in the game. We got Banchero, Wendell Carter Jr., Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, and De Silva. De Silva has it up top to get over to Banchero. Banchero gets it over to Bane. Bane's got nowhere to go. Hits Suggs cutting back door. Pump fake, reverse layup, got it to go. Good patience from Jalen Suggs there. 16-point game. Keaton Wallace has it up top. Crossing over, kicks it out to Reza Shea. Reza Shea coming to his right. Picks up his handle, he's got nowhere to go. Reza Shea finally gets it out to Wallace. Wallace, back to Reza Shea. Quick fire out of the left wing. In and out halfway down, can't get it to stay. Bane with the rebound, he's pushing it the other way. Bane's going to be picked up by Reza Shea. He's going to drive it down, lean in, draws the foul, throws up the floater, can't get it to go. Don't love that foul call. Going to send Desmond Bane to the foul line for 2 free throws here. 9:20 to go. Chris said, Buzelis isn't hurt, he's just hurting my ticket. 6 minutes halfway through the second quarter is crazy, though, for Buzelis then. Is he really that bad to start? Hina Hacky, what's up, Hina? Suck team Orlando Magic. They are stinking it up tonight so far. 16-point game. 16-point game. But Desmond Bane is at the foul line for 2 free throws here. I said Victor Oladipo can still play. PG can't or won't. Never liked that dog. Talking about Paul George, PG? I guess. I mean, we'll see. Let's see what he looks like. If it's 2 rough years in a row, then he might be cooked. And Philly's going to be stuck with that contract. But they obviously have outs now with all the young star power that they've been able to acquire and draft. Desmond Bane knocks down both of his free throws. 8:20 to go here in the second quarter. Keaton Wallace bringing it down. Wallace gets it over to Johnson. Johnson coming to his right. Picks up his handle. Steps through at the foul line. Throws it above glass. Looking for his own rebound. Can't get it to go. Anthony Black chases it down. Euro steps down the lane. Lefty layup. Can't get it to go. Mo Guy with the chase down block. My man Mo Gay with the chase down block. Reza Shea pull up 3. A terrible shot. An absolutely horrendous shot. Airballs it. Here comes Paolo Banchero bringing it down. Two absolute terrible decisions from the Atlanta Hawks on back-to-back possessions there. Bane spots up for a pull-up three around the Banchero screen, and he gets it to go down, and here comes the Orlando Magic back down to 11. And a timeout for the Atlanta Hawks. Good timeout. Good timeout. 7:30 to go here in the second. Chris said, Oladipo? He's been washed ever since he put on that Black Panther mask. True. Yeah, I'm really not high on Victor Oladipo, who's always out there playing for China right now. Not sold on that. I think his NBA career is over. $7:30 to go here in the second quarter. DJWU. You think Tristan Silvers will get 2 rebounds? I think it's a safe bet for De Silva to get 2 rebounds, but you never really know, my brother. You never really know. 2 rebounds for De Silva, who's been one of the better Magic players tonight. He has, so far, only got 1 rebound. So if you need 2 rebounds total, he needs to grab 1 more. If you need 2 more rebounds, I think it's pretty safe that maybe the ball will bounce his way at least 2 more times tonight. Page Nation said there are a lot of free agents out there for the Pacers. Come choose from; they'll figure something out. Yeah, this is a lottery-centric year. This is a lottery-centric year, Pacers Nation. I would not really worry about their center situation yet. They have an entire season and an off season to figure it out. DJWU with the subscription. Appreciate you, DJ. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good time tonight, my brother. I said a guy named De Silva should be in the UFC and not the NBA. Pretty true. Robin said Kaz will also going to fight in Bucks. Go Sixers. So the Sixers bring on the Punks. I've been very impressed with Milwaukee, obviously, with the rise of Ryan Rollins. They have figured out their point guard situation for the future. I'm very much a believer in Ryan Rollins' continued development. Very much a believer. It is a 17-point game. Not entirely out of it for Chicago. Not entirely out of it. Zealous is back in. Finally scored. Kinar said, and somehow the Nets will figure out a way to screw up this draft. They always do. They'll have a high draft pick. Even if they get jumped a bunch, they will have one of the, they might be the worst team in the league this year. They will be up there for sure. They're still winless, aren't they? Indiana picked up a win the other day. Okoro's got 10 points. Okoro 4 for 5 from the floor. Wow. Chicago on a little bit of a run. Yeah, Philly called the timeout. All right, here we go. Checking back in here. Okongwu hands it off to Johnson. Johnson spins in the lane, steps through, gets grabbed. No foul call. No foul on the floor. There was a foul call, finally. Foul on Banchero. Pacers Nation said, let's not worry about the NBA draft. It's not draft season yet. There's almost more games for the Pacers. You should watch a lot of college basketball, though, Pacers Nation. I'll phrase it that way. You should definitely watch a lot of college basketball this season. Chris said, come on, Franz, wake up. It's been a very quiet night for the Stars tonight. 5-second violation on the Hawks. They could not inbound it. Ball going back to the Magic, and the Atlanta Hawks have lost almost all momentum here. Anthony Black is in for Suggs. Black has it up top to get it over to Banchero, being guarded by Mo Gay. And he ends up fouling Banchero out by the half-court line. Come on, brother. Spacious Nation said Alabama versus Indiana basketball. Who do you got? Probably Alabama. But I don't know. I've not looked into college basketball yet. I just, it will be on. And I'll learn who to root for as the season goes on and who I like. They kick it out. De Silva, a right wing three, gets it to go off the Banchero pass. And finally, some shots starting to go down for Orlando. The lead is cut back to 8. 7 minutes to go here. Alexander Walker coming to his right up the Okongwu screen at the foul line. Throws it over the top. Gets picked off. Another bad decision from Atlanta here. It's team-wide, these bad decisions. Anthony Black steps back. Gets it over to Banchero. Cross-court pass to Suggs. Over to De Silva. Almost turns it over. De Silva is able to save it over to Banchero. Banchero has it up top, swings through down the lane, gets caught in the air, kicks it over to De Silva at the last second. Little fall-away jumper at the baseline, throws up an air ball. He was waiting for the shot clock to expire, but he had more time, and they're going to call a foul on Bataze, battling for the rebound down low. 6:30 to go here. Justice Dad said, Franz, minus 15. He should fix that as usual or single triple. Atlanta's in the bonus. So Okongwu going to the foul line for 2 free points here. Okongwu knocks down the first one. Can push it back up to 10. ESPN games tomorrow. San Antonio versus LA. Wow, that's a good game. Maybe we'll try and do 2 games tomorrow. Maybe. Anthony Black has it up top. Banchero has it up top, excuse me. They spring it over to Bane. Bane, a straightaway 3 on the pick and pop, and he got it to go. Okongwu did knock down that free throw, but Bane responded with a 3. Alexander Walker in the right wing up top to Johnson. Johnson coming to his right, sprays it over to Daniels. A right wing 3, he's looking to answer, and he does just that, knocking down a 3. Back to 10. Trading baskets now. Finally getting some NBA action. Banchero has it up top. Quick crossover to his right. Blows past the defense. Down the lane. Scoop blade with the left hand. Got it to go down. And the foul for Paolo Banchero. I said, yeah, Hans and Franz not getting it going. Or Huevos Bancheros. Banchero does get to the foul line here. He has been creating for his teammates a little bit. 8 points, 3 boards, 3 assists for Paolo so far. 8-point game here. Banchero at the foul line. Can get the 3 points back here. Misses the free throw. Okongwu with the rebound. Here comes Alexander Walker pushing it the other way. We're past the halfway point of the second quarter here. Under 6 to go. Okongwu has it in the high post. Hands it off to Daniels. Daniels coming to his right. Attacking in the lane. Kicks it out to Alexander Walker. Catches. Pump fakes. Driving to his left. Stops. Kicks it out. Okongwu left corner 3. And he knocks it down. Okongwu very confident in that shooting stroke right now. No hesitation from him. He's now 1 for 3 from 3-point range. Jalen Johnson guarding Banchero up top. Banchero coming to his right up the Bane screen. Steps through. Pass fake. Cross-court pass. Black out of the corner. Dancing with it. A step back left corner 3. Got it to go. Excuse me, I had a sneeze going on there. I barely got that call off. Piper, a loose ball there, out of bounds off of Atlanta. Johnson wasn't able to grab it. 49-41. Ball going back to Orlando here. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Banchero has it up top. Dancing with it. Coming to his right. Pulls it back. Crosses over. Now driving it down to his right. Step back, fall away, mid-range jumper. Atlanta will happily live with that Banchero shot all night long, but they can't grab the rebound. Ball finds its way out to Anthony Black for the layup. He can't get it to go, but the ball found its way right back to Franz Wagner, right into his hands off the rebound, and he's able to lay it up and in. 6-point game and a foul in the backcourt by Anthony Black will send Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the foul line because the Atlanta's in the bonus, playing way too aggressively in the backcourt there. Justice, that said, how many teams are legit must-watch this year, in your opinion? 14 to 16 teams? We'll go through it. We'll go through it at halftime. We'll go down the league, and we'll rank them. Not rank them, but we'll talk about watchability of every team. Alexander Walker's at the foul line for 2 free throws. Knocks down the first one. Justice Dad on the NB buffet. N buffet. N buffet. Like NBA, N buffet. Alexander Walker splits the pair of free throws. Made the first one, misses the second one. 4:30 to go. Banchero will bring it down. 7-point lead here for Atlanta. Banchero dancing with it. Gets it over to Bane. Bane coming to his left off the screen. Driving it down in the lane. Gets stripped. Ball's loose through Banchero's hands. He's able to save it. Has it in the right corner. Got nowhere to go with it. Spins, going along the baseline, goes up for a two-handed slam, can't get it to go, but gets fouled by Porzingis. 4 minutes to go here. Banchero going to the foul line for 2 free throws. Chris Baskerville said, Buzelis with 2 first half points is crazy work. We'll go through it here before we get to halftime, or when we get to halftime, we'll go through it. Kinohara said, yeah, Jalen Johnson has not come back into form yet. He had much more aggression on the glass before he got hurt. Averaging 9 rebounds so far this year. He averaged 10 last year. But he has not been very aggressive so far here tonight without Trae Young. Banchero missed the first one. He got one more free throw coming. He does knock that one down. Destiny's messed me up, man. Alexander Walker tried to lob it inside the Porzingis, turns it over. Here comes Bane pushing the other way. Bane gets it over to Black. Black gets fouled by Alexander Walker. Just that's at Franz, 16%. 1 for 6 from the field. Whew. Whew. 1 for 6 from the field for Franz Wagner. The fact that he's only taken 6 shots is not a good sign for the Magic. It is only a 6-point game, though, with him taking the 6 shots. Anthony Black is at the foul line for 2 free throws, as now Orlando is also in the bonus here. Black knocks down the first free throw. I said, yeah, Modest looking like Rokas tonight. Let's not disrespect Rokas Joe goodbye this year. Come on. Come on, my man Rokas. He still might come over after the ACL injury. Anthony Black knocked down both free throws. Daniels has it on the left wing to get it up top to Johnson. Johnson being guarded by Banchero. Dancing with it, hands it off to Alexander Walker, sprays it over to Daniels. Daniels driving it down, crosses over in the lane, leaves it off for Johnson. Johnson able to go up and lay it up and in. Good drop-off pass. Bane hands it off to Wagner. Wagner on the left wing, over to Banchero. Banchero over the top pass, gets knocked off the glass by Kennard. A bad pass from Banchero. Here come the Hawks pushing it the other way. Daniels crosses over in the lane, fends off the defender, kicks it out to Kennard. Kennard hands it off to Alexander Walker. He has it up top, dancing with it. Got nowhere to go. And then they call a foul. Porzingis takes the dive down low. These refs are just calling very ticky-tack fouls here tonight. Porzingis did hit the floor, but not entirely sure that was definitely a foul. Either way, that's 2 more free throws for the Hawks here. Porzingis to the foul line for 2. Porzingis knocks down the first free throw. And it's become a bit of a foul fest here tonight. Little bit of a foul fest here tonight. Porzingis knocks down both, knocking it back up to 8. Banchero will bring it down. Banchero has it up top, being guarded by Johnson. And another foul off ball. More free throws. Boy, man, these officials got to let them play a little bit, man. They got to let them play a little bit, man. Yeah, Show me the replay. Show me he really, really fouled him. A lot of ticky-tack off-ball fouls. They gotta let him play a little bit, man. Chi-Chi, what's up, Chi-Chi? The day I pick Orlando, my parlay, they get in their butt kicked. Hey, man. These two teams are pretty evenly matched. It's only an 8-point game. Oh, Desmond Bane missed a free throw. You can't keep missing free throws if you're Orlando here. Bane does at least knock down the second one. Normally a knockdown free throw shooter. Split the pair there. 3 minutes to go. 7-point game. Alexander Walker gets it over to Daniels. Daniels on the left wing. Gets it over to Porzingis. Porzingis. One-on-one against Wendell Carter Jr. Draws the foul. He's going to the foul line for 2 more free throws. Wendell Carter Jr. picks up his 3rd personal foul there. Everyone in this game has picked up a foul except for Dyson Daniels. A lot of fouls being called here tonight so far. Chris H. Tang, what's up, Chris? I got the Magic on the money line and parlay, but I believe Magic will make a great comeback in the second half. I hope so, Chris. I hope so. Hope it's a good close game in the second half. And things have devolved into a bit of a foul fest here, unfortunately. These refs are calling it way too tight. Daiki Ida, what's up, Daiki? Free throws? Yeah, it's getting rough out there. Nobody wants to sit here and watch a free throw party. Both sides getting to the foul line. The refs are just calling it extremely tight right now with both teams in the bonus. Still have 3 minutes to go. Porzingis misses the second free throw. 47-45, 8-point game here. 47-55. Anthony Black attacking to his left. Suggs attacking to his left. Kicks it up top to Banchero. Banchero crosses over to his right, driving it down in the lane. Throws up the floater. Can't get it to go. Porzingis with the rebound. Banchero with his hands up in the air. Can't believe a foul wasn't called there. Jalen Johnson all the way down the lane. Can't get the lefty layup to go. Gets chased down, blocked by Suggs. And I think they called a foul? And it should be a goaltend on Suggs, who grabbed the rim as he went up for the chase down block. Like you said, you pronounced my name perfectly? Hey, man, I've seen an anime or two in my day. Daiki. KNR said, dear officials, stop calling BS fouls and start calling traveling. Very true. Very true. Pacers Nation said, who do you think will win tonight? I think the Magic should probably win with no Trae Young. The Magic should probably win. Alex Reed, what's up, Alex? Do we reckon Hawks got a halftime money line lock? Yeah. Yeah, with 2.5 to go. They call it flagrant? Or technical? Jalen Johnson at the foul line? Technical on Jalen Suggs. He did knock down a free throw for the technical for Suggs. Now he'll be at the foul line for his free throws. Johnson does knock down the free throw. 47-58. K. Hazy said, who are the Magic missing? Because I don't understand the problem here. Not really missing anybody. Still working in Desmond Bane. Jalen Suggs is still coming back from the injury. I believe he's on a minutes restriction. Bane driving it down behind the back. Loses the handle against Daniels. Daniels on the hit ahead. Driving it down. Securing the handle. Cross-court pass. Reza Shea wide open in transition. And Reza Shea knocks down the three. 61-47. Under 2 minutes to go here. We're past the 2-minute warning. Get over to Wagner up top. Wagner coming to his right. Driving it down. In the lane. Leans in. Pump fakes. Gets it knocked out of his hands. Ball is going to stay here with Orlando at least. Alex Reed said, had Hawks, 49ers, and Raptors halftime money line for 350. So hoping it sticks out. I think you're pretty good here with the Hawks for the halftime. They're up 14. They get it over to Wagner. Wagner gets it over to Banchero. Jab step, pump fake, over to Wagner. Catches, pump fake, step back, straight away, three, low fall away. Can't get it to go with the shot clock buzzer. Picked up by Alexander Walker. Coming to is right up for Porzingis screen in transition. Pick and pop for Porzingis. He's going to fire a three over Desmond Bane. Can't get it to go. Fight for the long rebound. Wagner tips it over to his teammate. Here comes Anthony Black pushing. Over to Wagner. Euro steps down the lane. Kicks it out to nobody. Right out of bounds. All going the other way. Unless they call a foul. No, they call it out of bounds off of Atlanta. They're saying they tipped the ball on the pass attempt. Patience Nation said, I can't wait for my birthday to come up. When's your birthday, Patience Nation? When's your birthday, my brother? You know, I said, yeah, I don't get it. That's why I'm blaming Bane. At some point, you're going to have to start looking at the head coach here as well. You could blame Bane. You could blame the lack of development with Wagner and Banchero not developing perimeter jump shots. Right? You can't have two slashers in the league who can't shoot threes. Can't. At some point, the Magic will have to make a decision if neither of these guys can develop a perimeter shot. The Magic will have to make a decision on one of them. Chris Baskerville said 14 fouls called this quarter. Crazy. Crazy, isn't it, Chris? Nobody is trying to watch a foul fest. Trying to watch some basketball here. Gigi said they're not missing anyone. They just heard I bet on them tonight. Yeah, man. That's definitely how I feel. That's why I stopped putting money on games. If I ever do put money, I'll put in a big parlay and I'll do like $1. I'll do a nice big old parlay with 1,000 moving pieces. I'll throw $1 on it. The Hawks used their challenge here. That's what initiated the timeout. Watcher said Bucks getting spanked. Wow, we're going to have to go through the box scores here. We're going to have to go through the box scores here. Interesting development so far tonight. Chicago's getting spanked. Orlando, not getting spanked, but again, they're butt handed to them a little bit. The call is overturned. It is a turnover on Franz Wagner. Did not hit off of anybody. It will be Orlando's ball. A terrible call. How do you make that call? He just threw it out of bounds. Clearly, nobody touched it. Dikey said, thank you for broadcasting. Appreciate you, Dikey. Appreciate you having you in the chat. We are live Monday through Saturday, my brother. We are live Monday through Saturday. We will be watching NBA games every night of the week. Alexander Walker has it up top. Dancing around the Porzingis screen, coming to his left, a pull-up straightaway three, splashes in nothing but net for Nickeil Alexander-Walker as Atlanta extends the lead once again to 17 points here. Anthony Black up top, crossing over to his left, driving it down, up top of Banchero. He steps back for a straightaway three in the pick and pop, comes up short, Ricochet with the rebound, hit ahead to Daniels, in and out dribble, behind the back, pulls it all the way back out. Dancing with it, coming to his right. Daniels has nowhere to go, trying to get it over to Porzingis. Johnson down the lane, throws a lob up top to Porzingis. Play is broken up, no foul calls either way. A lot of players hit the floor. Banchero, nice behind the back move, down the lane, kicks out the Black, extra pass to Bane. Bane in the corner, pump fake, fly-by defense from Johnson. Bane can't knock down the corner three. Daniels with the rebound, and we're going to pull it down bring it down the other way for what should be the final shot of the quarter here with 15 seconds to go. Alexander Walker has it up top. Alexander Walker being guarded by Bane, coming to his right up the Porzingis screen, crosses over, steps back, gets it over to Porzingis, at the buzzer, just fires it away, hit off the front rim, can't get it to go, and that will be the end of the first half. A 64-47 halftime lead here for the Atlanta Hawks, 17-point lead. Oof. 14-1 run, a lot of it from free throws, Jay said, yep, Sixers will be good this year. Let's go through it. Let's jump right through it. Jump right to it. Go around the league. Go around the league. So the Raptors are just blowing out the Bucks tonight. Giannis is playing. 21. Let's do this. 91 to 72. How much time is left? 3:30 left in the third. Be better if I stand like this. Obviously, we're watching Magic Hawks, and the Hawks are giving it to the Magic right now. The 76ers still giving it to the Bulls, a 19-point lead at halftime. 75 points at half for the 76ers is pretty crazy. We'll go through that box score in a second. The Pelicans taking on the Hornets, a battle of the bottom. Although the Hornets hovering around 500, they're 3-4. Pelicans have yet to secure a win. There's without Zion for 7 to 10 games or something like that. Is that what I read? About 2 weeks? 2 to 3 weeks? Suns Warriors late game, not all that interesting. And Thunder Clippers, Thunder looking to start the year 8-0. So tonight just might be the National Blowout Association night. We got blowout after blowout after blowout here in the Eastern Conference. Right? Normally we try to find the best game of the night, and we might be watching it with the way although maybe we're missing it with Hornets Pelicans. Maybe that's gonna be the game of the night. But let's look at Milwaukee, Toronto. Giannis with 21. Ryan Rollins with only 6-4. Obviously not what you want to see with the rise of Ryan Rollins, right? Maybe it was a hot week for him. Maybe this is really who he is. 6.3, 4 assists. Giannis with 21. Turner with 10. Off the bench, Kyle Kuzma with 10. Kyle Kuzma playing much better with Milwaukee. I want to give props to Kyle Kuzma. We watched the Milwaukee game the other night, and he played very well in the absence of Giannis. I was very impressed with his buy-in to what the Bucks are doing. They are down 19 here to the Toronto Raptors. RJ playing well? My man RJ, 19-7-3. Shout out RJ. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Like to see RJ Barrett play well. Manuel Quigley playing well? 15-3-6. 5 for 12 from the field? Not shooting it well. Sure, Raptors fans are still upset. Still upset with Quigley. Gigi said Tinkus Pinkus. Come on, man. Sandro Mamukelashvili. If you're a Knick fan, you know him, you love him. Sandro Mamukelashvili with 10 points, 7 rebounds off the bench. He's been solid. 4 offensive rebounds for Mamu. Grady Dick off the bench with 5 points. Jacoby Walter with 3. We're really banking on Jacoby Walter taking a little bit of a lead, but Colin Murray-Boyle's off the bench. He's been solid so far since he's gotten back. Let's go to our next box score. Magic Hawks we'll save for last. Let's look at the halftime score of the battle of the best here in the Eastern Conference. Both teams 5-1. And Chicago at home, too, by the way, which they're 4-0. Philly on the road, 3-0. We did go over Philly's record so far. They had a bit of a cupcake schedule to start the year. But this is an impressive game here so far for Philadelphia. Up 19 points on Chicago. Embiid up to 18 points. Put work in that second quarter. Okay, Embiid, we see you getting a little bit healthier. Okay. Tyrese Maxey up to 22. He had 20 points in the first quarter. Embiid picked it up in the second quarter. Quentin Grimes, 8, 3, and 2 off the bench. Gigi said, Chef had Tingus stayed in New York. Do you think he would have taken them to the promised land? Absolutely not. My man was we've seen how his career played out. He was going to get hurt. Kay Hazy said, not the GOAT, Ryan Rollins struggling. Unfortunately, Ryan Rollins is not going to make the All-Star team this year, but the development of him is obviously still very good. Christopher Baskerville said, you should pick 4 prop bets each night. It will add to the look around the league. Prop bets and keep the record throughout the season. I'm just not a big bettor. I just don't really, I'll talk to you guys about the bets you've made, but I'm not really down to advertise betting on the show, which is why, I've been reached out to by some of the smaller betting apps and whatnot. Reason why you don't see them on the channel is because I don't particularly agree with advertising betting as heavily as everything is advertised by these sports books. I just don't want to be another one of them. So as of right now, we're going to keep it pretty clean. Like I said, I'll talk to you guys about what you've already put in, but not something I want to do. Not something I also want to promote. Like I said, I'll talk to you about the ones you bring up and you talk to me about, but I'm not going to put something up on screen just for people to try and take my advice. I know nothing about betting. I know nothing about predicting NBA trends or basketball trends or anything like that, but I'm just going to keep it to basketball. I'm going to keep it strictly to basketball. Chris said, I understand your pregame insight is really helpful. That's why I mentioned it. Yeah, it's not a bad idea, Chris. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. I wish it was my thing because I'd be able to make a lot more money. I'll tell you that. I'd be able to sign these deals with these sports betting apps who send me emails like, hey, hey, I would, hey, you want some money? Well, you could put our logo on your screen. It's like, I would love your money. But I just, I'm not somebody who uses betting apps. So I can't tell you guys, hey, you should use these betting apps. I can't do that. Right? I can't ask you to spend money on something that I myself would not be willing to spend the money on. Like I said earlier, I'm an extremely casual gambler. I'll put maybe like 5 total bets in all season just because I forget. I just forget that I have it on my phone. And even when I do, like I said, I'll just do a big, fun, giant parlay of a bunch of money line bets. Who do I think is going to win? I don't do player props really at all when I do it casually. And I'll throw $1 on it. I'm really not trying to just light money on fire. I think that's what betting is, right? And if you have the disposable income to do that, do it. Go ahead, do your thing. It's fun. It is fun if you have the disposable income to just light your money on fire. I don't have that, so I'm not gonna. And I know a lot of you guys don't have it because things are real difficult right now. Things are really expensive right now. So I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna advertise to people that they should spend their money on something that they're likely not gonna be able to make any money back on. That's just me, though. Other people are much more willing to do it because they're much more into gambling and they know more about it than I do. I don't know enough about it to get involved, so I'm going to keep it very casual. You guys come into the chat and ask me about some of your bet slips and what do I think about them. I give you an opinion based off of my basketball knowledge, which isn't great. Got a very casual basketball knowledge over here, but that's all I could really give you. All I could really give you from my opinion. He said, love it. Basketball is about gambling now. Ruins it a bit. To me, it ruins it a bit. Look, like I said, it is fun if you have the disposable income to throw a little bit of money on it. I don't have that. I know a lot of you guys don't have that. I don't know your financial situation, but I'm just saying. World is crazy right now. Groceries are expensive. Gas is expensive. Everything's expensive. So I'm not going to ask you guys to spend money on something I would not be willing to spend money on currently. So Philly looks like they're just going to run away with it. They're still up by 20 over Chicago. Keenar said, I have fun with it for the couple of bucks, but betting has gotten totally out of control in society. Yeah. That's where I'm with it too, Keenar. Every now and again, I'll throw $1 on something, but for the most part, it's just not my thing. I'll give you my opinion on something if you ask for my opinion. Like, do I think, who was it? Do I think De Silva can grab 2 more rebounds? Like, in my mind, I'm like, 2 rebounds for Tristan De Silva. Yeah, I think he can grab 2 rebounds. But, you should be aware of the trends and what his average is in terms of rebounds per game. I think it's like 3.5 or something. So you're betting on that he'll get to his average, but maybe he won't get to his average. Sometimes you don't. So maybe he won't play as many minutes in the second half because maybe they're going to lean on their star power and they play the same position at the wings. So I don't know. Christopher Basketball said it would have been hilarious after you said all that. You ended with the stream is brought to you by Prize Picks. Would have been funny. I should have did it, even though I'm not brought to you by any of that. We should make up our own and use fake money, right? I wish like Twitch has obviously I stream on YouTube. I streamed on Twitch for a little bit, but people weren't hanging out in the Twitch chat. They started hanging out more in the YouTube chat, so I kind of just stopped messing around with the Twitch thing just because it's difficult handling two streaming platforms at once. But Twitch has this feature called channel points, and so the more you watch a stream, the more channel points you accumulate, and then you can spend those points on the channel. It would have been great if YouTube had a feature like that, and we could gamble with channel points. Therefore, we're not using something real. So, would have been better. Would have been better. Chris Basketball said, "Real talk, though, I respect it." I appreciate you, Chris. I appreciate you. I'll give you my opinion. I just, that's all I could give you. Just as Dad said, losing money hurts more than good winning feels. Yeah. In my opinion, it does. Some other people, the high of winning is outweighs all the losing that you do. But I hate losing so much that every time I've lost, like one of those $1 bets that I'll put in, I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I lost $1. Like, that's $1 I'm never gonna get back. I just lit it on fire. I got nothing out of it. I got sadness. I got sadness and frustration because I didn't win my bet. That's all I got from that $1. Robin said, "Do you be betting on those fights, Mayweather?" Absolutely not. I know a very casual level of basketball. I know significantly less about some of these other sports, especially fighting. Chris said, "Is Franz getting to 15 points?" What is he sitting at now? I'll tell you right now. Franz is in with 4 points. Jeez, Franz. I would think you have to. He's averaging 18, 20 something. He's averaging 22. I would think he's going to end the night around 15. Just as at Rangers getting cooked. Tonight's just a blowout night. What is going on tonight? Tonight is just blowout city all around. The Bucks are now down by 26 points. What is going on in the league? Oh, just that said, what are the 14 to 16 watchable teams? Let's go through the standings. It's a good time to gives us an ability to look at the standings as well. Watchable teams. I have not watched Philly outside of preseason basketball, but they started the year 5-1, so I'm going to put respect on their name. I'm going to say they're pretty watchable. Chicago Bulls, we got to look at 2 games for the Chicago Bulls. They were pretty fun. They're again spanked here tonight, but sometimes we get spanked. I'm going to throw them in watchable. That's 2. The Bucks are watchable. They got Giannis. Detroit is watchable. They got Cunningham. Miami is watchable. They have the best offense in the NBA right now. The Knicks are obviously watchable. They're awesome. Best team in the league. Cleveland is watchable. They're really good. Toronto. I don't have a spicy opinion about Toronto. Have not watched Toronto since the preseason. I'm going to say they're not watchable right now. They are kind of watchable. I'm going to say no. I got to say no on some of these teams. I'm going to say no on Toronto for now. So we have 7 teams. Atlanta. They're watchable when trade. This is with the team being fully healthy. So for Atlanta, I'm going to say they're watchable. Trae Young, they're watchable. Tonight, they look a little rough. I'm going to say they're watchable. Orlando, I'm not going to say they're watchable. I think Orlando's a tough watch. I don't think they have a good play style. I think they're pretty boring. They run a very boring offense. They're not a highlight factory. They don't have a ton of highlight players. They settle for a lot of mid-range shots. They don't have good shooters. So you're not even going to catch them on a night where it's like, oh, man, the Orlando Magic are hot. They're spraying it from all over the place. They're knocking down 3 after 3. This is exciting. They're not going to give you that. And the defense has fallen off a cliff to start the year so far. So I'm going to put the Magic in not watchable. I'm going to put the Celtics in not watchable because they're kind of mid. Don't have a whole lot going on. Kind of a lost year for Boston so far. Charlotte, I'm going to put in watchable because they have LaMelo Ball and they're fun and exciting and young. They're going to be spunky. The Pacers are unwatchable. The Wizards, unwatchable. They're spunky. They're unwatchable. Brooklyn, super unwatchable. The most unwatchable team in the league. We're coming out to start the third quarter, but real quick, we'll run through the West. We're sitting with 9 teams. Oklahoma City, watchable. Spurs, watchable. Lakers, it's a foul fest when you watch a Lakers game. But I'll say watchable. I'll put respect on the 6-2 record so far. That's 13. Nuggets, watchable. Rockets, watchable. Minnesota, watchable. Blazers, nah. Golden State, watchable. Clippers, no. Suns, no. Jazz, no. Grizzlies, no. Kings, no. Dallas, no. Pelicans, no. That leaves us with 17 teams. Watchable. OMG, what's up, OMG? Here we go, start of the third quarter. Start of the third quarter. Where are we at? 49-64. Wagner got a layup. There's Franz. There's Franz, y'all. Reza Shea up top gets it over to Daniels. Daniels driving to his left off a screen. Scoop layup with the left hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense from Bane there. Franz Wagner almost turned it over, but now he's bringing it down. Wagner's going to dance with it. Wagner leaves it off for Wendell Carter Jr. Gets fouled. He's going to go to the foul on 2 free throws. Foul on Porzingis, who's incensed at the foul call. How could that happen? How could that happen? OMG, what's popping, my guy? Keenan Harris said, Orlando, very tough watch. Spurs is where it's at. Warriors, Denver, LA. Yeah, I mean, it will obviously change as the season goes on, as players get healthy, as other players get hurt and whatnot, but I'm going to put respect on the teams up top who are winning. So I'll put, even though I think the Lakers borderline on unwatchable because of how many foul calls they do get as an organization, as a team, but their games tend to turn into foul fest, which can very easily put you into unwatchable territory. But I'm going to put respect on the fact that they're 5-2 for now. Wendell Carter Jr. knocked down both of his free throws. Alexander Walker up top. Coming to his left off a Daniel screen. Get over to Porzingis. Fakes the handoff. One dribble, pull a mid-range jumper. Got it to go for Kristaps Porzingis. Back to 15 here. Not insurmountable for the Magic. A floater from Suggs. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Porzingis skies for the rebound and gets fouled by Suggs. And the fouls continue to mount. They continue to mount. That is Suggs' 4th personal foul. And a terrible reach-in. Just a terrible decision from Suggs. Whether he thinks it's a foul or not. I said, yeah, I hate the refs, Lakers bias, I admit. But Luka Reeves is a show. It is a show. That's why I'm going to put respect on it for now. But we'll see what happens as the season continues to go on. If they continue winning, does it become less of a show? As the fouls mount up? But those dudes do put on a show. Alexander Walker coming off a Porzingis screen. A mid-range jumper from him. I got to blow my nose again. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. These allergies are killing me. Bane up top coming to his left. Fends off the defender, and they're going to hit him with the offensive foul call. Fouls continuing to mount for the Magic here. That is the 3rd foul on Bane. Got 3 fouls on Bane, 3 fouls on Carter Jr., 4 fouls on Suggs. Under 10 to go. My timer's a minute off, but we will catch up. Daniels on the left wing. And they call an off-ball foul on the Hawks. They're still calling it extremely, extremely tight here. 2 very undisciplined teams going at it here tonight. Paolo has it up top, being guarded by Jalen Johnson. Crossing over to his left. Dancing with it, putting his head down, attacking, gets caught in the air, almost throws it away. Wagner able to recover it, over to Suggs. Suggs dancing with it, between the legs, crossover, stop, turn, spin, little fall-away jumper at the buzzer. Can't get it to go. Johnson skies for a rebound over Banchero. Johnson bringing it down now, putting his head down, attacking. Takes it out to Reza Shea. Crossover, step back, left wing 3. He's feeling himself, comes up short on it. Long rebound, fight for it. Suggs throws it off of Dyson Daniels. Ball's going to go back to Orlando. and a technical foul against Dyson Daniels. As he's upset because he's saying that he got his jersey grabbed. Pacers Nation said, is Sami Zayn a Knicks fan because I saw him wearing a Knicks jersey on WWE when Trae Young was at the Garden? No, well, Trae Young was a villain, so Sami Zayn is a babyface, so obviously he's going against the babyface in that moment. He's Canadian. I don't think he's a Knicks fan. Keenahara said, Chicago clawing back if that tightens up. Maybe we switch? Maybe. Maybe. Good call, Keenahara. Maybe we switch it. I don't have that scoreboard set up, so we'll just have to tune into the game to the GameCast. But we'll try to tune into the as Dyson Daniels comes up with a steal and Suggs. He was not paying attention. I do have to. There's so many things I have to do. That's the issue with doing it all by yourself. You don't have anybody to delegate any work to. Dyson Daniels did get the easy layup, 19-point lead for them. I don't have anybody to delegate any of like this extra work to. But, you know, obviously a couple weeks ago we did talk about doing like an around the league sort of show where we don't single out one specific game. We go around the league and try to catch as much basketball action as we can. But I'd have to set up different ways to show the different scores all at once as we can talk about it and whatnot. I'd have to set up like the scene. So these are the different scenes I have. I have this one. I have the player graphics one. This is what I mean when I talk about scenes. It's just like what I show in the background of the stream. We have this one, which allows me to show my full screen of the ESPN stuff. We have this different scene, which is the finale scene and whatnot. So I'd have to set up a scene specifically for that show and sort of design it in a way where I can show all the live scores behind me. Also, maybe show some stats on another way. Like I'd have to conceptualize it and figure out a way and how to show it on the computer so I can show it to you guys on the screen. But I have to do that. I have to get the merch stuff going. I have to make the online store. I want to make a Discord so we could all hang out in it together. What else am I looking to do? I have to constantly be updating the player cards to show relevant stats, like stats of where they are in the season, because most of them show last season stats as they set them all up. I have to add context before we do the game. I have to make the thumbnails for each night. I have to make the scoreboards for each night. I have all the Knicks ones made in advance, but I don't know what games we're doing on a night-to-night basis, and I'm not about to do 900 different scoreboards for possible 900 different variations of games. Hazy said you could just make it just team stats and the star. I could, and I probably will. It's just sitting down and making the scene, right? Like this is a different thing that you're saying. 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 And then obviously I'm a different thing that you're saying. Like there's a lot that goes into making a scene. So unfortunately, it's just a lot of work. It'll probably take me all day to figure it out and conceptualize it, to show it the way so that it looks good. Not so that it's like I could just do this. I could just do this, and then I can do this. I could just go to scores. Or we could just do this, and then I could literally just click one of them. And just say, oh, we're tuning in the Bucks Raptors. Here's the GameCast for everybody, and then I could call the game. I could do that, which isn't a terrible idea, but I would like graphics shown in some way. I would like, even when we do something like this, I would still like to be able to see the other scores. So at any moment we can switch. At any moment when somebody looks at the stream, they could see the different scores that are happening, even when we switch over and focus on one game for a second. You know? Just a lot to take into consideration. Here we go, we're back into it. But what's that? 12-point game. We might switch over if that gets close in the fourth. We might. Keep an eye on it. Banchero driving it down, kicks it out to Wendell Carter Jr. for a three. Too strong, can't get it to go. Long rebound over to Bane. Bane hands it off to Wendell Carter Jr. Back to Bane. Bane kicks it over. Franz Wagner pump fakes out of the three in the lane, throws up the floater. Got it to go down. 17-point game here, 8:30 to go. Jalen Johnson has it up top. Hits Nickeil Alexander-Walker cutting back door. Gets the easy lefty layup to go. And Atlanta right now just running circles around Orlando. Wendell Carter Jr. has it up top. Hands it off to Banchero. Going to pump fake, drive it to his right. Pulls it back out, dancing with it against Porzingis. Leans in, fall away jumper. Gets it to go, and a foul on Porzingis. Porzingis standing there with his hands down to his side like, really? You going to call that one too? You going to call that one too? So Banchero is going to go to the foul line for one more free throw. You know, I said, Chev going for big production. I am. I went to school for production. The issue is doing it all by yourself. Usually you can delegate different tasks during production to other people. I can't do that because I'm all by myself. Listen, I've asked friends to help out, and they're not interested. They're not interested. Porzingis, nice pass inside to Jalen Johnson off the nice drive, cratering the defense from Dyson Daniels. Another easy layup for the Hawks. Banchero draws yet another foul. I don't think that's a foul. I think he's way out of control there. This is a really poorly officiated game tonight. Jay Hazy said Porzingis was unlucky with that foul call. I think it's a poorly. I think everything has transitioned down to being a very poorly officiated game right now. Like the officials have made this a very difficult watch tonight. Right? It's just foul call after foul call after foul call. The Hawks already have 4 fouls with 7:30 to go here in the third quarter. The Magic have 2. There have been 6 fouls called so far already in this quarter. Banchero knocks down the first one. He's got another one coming. Banchero sitting with 13, 6, and 4. Now 14, 6, and 4, knocking down both free throws. It's a 16-point game. Alexander-Walker bringing it down the other way. Trae Young, my bad. I was reading Pacers Nation chat about Trae Young in a WWE match. Not going to happen. Pretty sure his contract would not allow it. Nickeil Alexander misses the mid-range jumper. The Magic pushing the other way. Franz Wagner driving. Draws the foul, and Reza Shea gets the little and one to go. And Reza Shea very frustrated with the foul call. Again, really, really ticky-tack foul calls here. My goodness. Is this a poorly officiated game? We might just switch. It's going to go back and forth, but it's an 11-point game at the end of the third of Philadelphia-Chicago. I'm going to go ahead and pull that game up here. If Chicago makes that starts to make that spicy, I'm going to switch over. I'm going to change the title and say 76ers and Bulls coverage. I'm just going to throw that in the title. Thumbnail is going to stay the same. I'm going to pull up the other game just to have it up. Magic are back at the foul line because, of course, they are. Mute this. It is muted. There you go. So we are sitting at 61 with Banchero at the foul line. 76. Knocks down the first one. Got another one coming. Robin said, do you still have the giraffe? I do. I do. Jeffrey sitting out there. Got to find a permanent spot for him. Artist at 11.76 years and needs some points at Edgecombe. Reza Shea, right corner three, knocks it down. Banchero knocked down both free throws. Reza Shea responds with a three. We're trading free throws for threes. It's a 16-point game. Banchero has it up top. I got the Chicago-Philadelphia game on over here. We'll keep an eye on it as the night goes on. Banchero dancing with it down the lane. Scoop-lay with the left hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense from Mo Gay. Alexander Walker throws a lob of the Reza Shea. He can't get the reverse dunk to go down. Home run pass to Banchero standing under the basket by himself. Quickly dunked it down. Jalen Johnson hands it off to Okongwu. Gets it over to Alexander Walker. Coming to his right off the screen. Behind the back pass to nobody. Johnson able to save it. Johnson down the lane. Kicks out to Okongwu. Left corner three. Quickly fires. Can't get it to go. Long rebound to Bataze. Here comes Banchero. Pull-up three for Desmond Bane. Can't get it to go. Johnson with the rebound. Home run pass to Okongwu. Oh, and that's a flagrant two. That's going to be a flagrant two on Desmond Bane, who pulls down Okongwu and then slaps the ball down to Okongwu purposely and then points the finger at somebody. Desmond Bane, he's out of here. He's frustrated tonight. Probably frustrated with his role on the team and his season so far because he's been trash. He's been trash this season. So Desmond Bane just grabs Okongwu and then slaps the ball down at him purposely. And then Mo Gay is there, and he comes in. He doesn't really do anything. He just walks up, and he's like, yo, what are you doing? And then Desmond Bane points the finger right in front of, I don't know who Desmond Bane thinks he is, but he's going to be out of the game tonight. It's going to be a flagrant two. He's going to get out of there. Just that's a notorious Dirt Bane. He's done. He's done. Like I said, I'm down on Bane. I was never super high on him either. He put up points, an absolute marksman of a shooter, but So it's a 10-point game, 97-87, Philadelphia over Chicago here. Oubre up top, attacking to his right, spins to his left. He has it in the lane. Good defense from Giddey. Too strong, can't get it to go. Good skies for a rebound. Is that Dalen Terry right there? Dalen Terry getting minutes. Giddey bringing it down. Sprays it over to Terry. Terry gets it over to Giddey. Giddey over to, in the corner, to somebody. Jalen Smith can't get it to go. Pat Williams with the rebound. Can't get it to go. Does get fouled. He's going to go to the foul line for 2 free throws. There you go, Pat Williams. Cutting it to single digits with 10:30 to go in that game. Watcher said Bulls down 10. Keeping an eye on it, Watcher. I'm keeping an eye on it. As the refs are going to take 10 years to figure out a decision here. I said he is the bane of Orlando's existence. Yes, he is now. He for sure is now. Chris Basketball said, hope nobody has Bane for 10 points. He's got 9. Isaiah Gardner, what's up, Isaiah? Bane has been playing trash in Orlando? Yes, he has. He looks absolutely awful on this team. Bane with a flagrant foul 1, a technical foul, and they're just going to go ahead and eject them anyway. The 9-point game in Philly versus Chicago here. Edgecombe down the lane, knocks down the floater. So Bane is out of here. My timer's been ticking this whole time. 5.5 to go here in the third. Philly going the other way. Oubre gets a slam on the fast break. They go up by 13. Desmond Bane's night is done. J-Man, what's up, J-Man? I will never on the battle of the bums again. That's a good phrase for it, for sure. Ryan, what's up, Ryan? Need Banchero over 37.5. I hope that's points, rebounds, and assists, and not just points, because he's not getting points, Ryan. He's not going to get there points-wise. But he's got 18 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. So he's got 28 total PRA with a quarter and a half left to go. It's back to a 10-point game. Chicago not going away quietly. They're hanging around. Kay Hazy said, watch them win now that Bane's out. I mean, they made their best runs when Bane was off the floor. And a guy like De Silva or Anthony Black were in the game. They made their best runs when those guys were in the game. Chris said, Franz got 11. I need 4 more. I think Franz will get to at least 15. I think you're pretty safe with that, Chris. We got, like I said, we got a quarter and a half. Ryan said, for sure, PRA. Appreciate it. I got you, Ryan. I got you. Yeah, he's got, 18, 6, and 4, so he's sitting on 28 right now. Can he get 10 more? I think he'll get 10 more. Like I said, we have a quarter and a half to go. 5:24 to go here in the third quarter. My timer's off. I had to tick in the whole time while they were reviewing. Kennard knocks down all 3 of those free throws. And Alexander Walker knocks down the pull-up 3 there. So a 6-point swing for the Atlanta Hawks there as they're back up by 20. 85-65 with 5 minutes to go. They get it over to Bataze, hands it off to De Silva. De Silva settles for the pull-up 3, rattles it in. Something Desmond Bane was not doing, knocking down shots. Tell you that. Alexander Walker driving to his left, throws it over to nobody. He thought Johnson was picking and popping. Johnson was rolling, and Alexander Walker throws it out of bounds. Keenar said, yeah, that would reinforce my theory. The problem is Bane. I think the problem is a lot right now in Orlando. I think their offense is rudimentary. As Banchero to the rim gets chased down, blocked by Mo Gay. Embarrassing. Alexander Walker pushing it the other way. Hands it off to Johnson. Johnson inside to Okongwu for the easy two-handed slam. Beautiful pass from Johnson there inside to Okongwu. $11-point game. Philly up on Chicago. Banchero has it up top, being guarded by Mo Gay. They swing it over to De Silva. He's going to fire another 3, and he's going to splash another 3. Tristan De Silva off the bench, back-to-back 3s. Trying to pull his team back. Giddey's at the foul line. He can knock it to a 9-point game here. He knocks down the first one. It's 10. Johnson has it up top, being guarded. This is fun. Hold on. I got to get this set up. Maybe that's what I spend tomorrow doing. Alexander Walker has it up top to get it over to Johnson. Johnson being guarded by Anthony Black. Trying to focus on multiple games? I like it. Hold on. Johnson down the lane, puts up the little floater along the baseline, can't get it to go. Okongwu has it along the right baseline on the offensive rebound. No, Mo Gay has it, excuse me. I didn't mean to confuse Mo Gay and Okongwu. They look nothing alike. Alexander Walker pull up 3, can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. De Silva, good box out and rebound. De Silva all over the court now. Anthony Black has it up top, crossing over. Gets it over to De Silva on the left wing. He's been the man with the hot hand here. He's going to pump fake, drive it down. In the mid-range, stops, turns, pivots, spins. He's got nowhere to go. Gets it over to Bataze. Back to De Silva for the easy layup. Good pass from Bataze. And Tristan De Silva is doing what Desmond Bane was not doing. Alexander Walker has it up top, being guarded by Anthony Black. They get it over to Johnson, being guarded by Banchero. Over to Jace Richardson, who's in the game now. Luke Kennard down the lane, loses it out of bounds. Ball is going back to Orlando. Under 3 minutes to go now. Jose Ortiz. What's up, Jose? I need Johnson for 15 plus. 15 rebounds and assists. Let's go. Jalen Johnson is sitting with 5 and 3. I don't know if he's going to get to 15. Maybe. I mean, you know what? He can get to 15 for sure. He can grab at least 5 more rebounds, pick up 2 more assists. Orlando hit a 3. That Isaac Okoro right there. Hold on. It's a 7-point game, y'all. 8 minutes to go. Philly calls a timeout. Hold on, y'all. Chicago's not out of it. There you go. Get it close. Keenahara said Knicks got to worry about Philly, it would seem. I don't know, Keenahara. I don't know. Still not sold on Philly. We went over their schedule, Kinohara, and they have a cupcake. They have had a cupcake schedule so far. They've played the Nets. They've played Washington. They played Boston twice. We know Boston's not all that good. I don't know about Philly yet. I think the jury's still out. I mean, shout out to them. They've gone off to a nice hot start. You can only play the teams that are in front of you, and they're 5-1. So shout out to them. But still not sold on them. I'm still not sold on them. Is there any other games we should probably keep an eye on? No, not really. Raptors blew out the Bucks by 28. My goodness. We got Magic Hawks on. We got Bulls Philadelphia on. I could throw Hornets Pelicans on. Just to do it. Just to do it. That's what I might spend tomorrow doing. I might spend tomorrow trying to figure. You don't have access to this game? Why not? Why don't I have access to Hornets Pelicans? Why am I blacked out from Hornets Pelicans, y'all? Why are you blacked out from Hornets Pelicans? I've never been blacked out from a Carolina game ever. There we go. That was weird. But there we go. It's back in. The Hornets are leading by 6. We'll just keep an eye on it. Why not? It's the closest game tonight. I said I need some points out of Sexton. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. That's Zion James driving it down, lefty layup. Can't get it to go. Zion is out, so at least the Pelicans don't have that, unfortunately, going for them. There's really no other games to really keep an eye on, so we'll keep it at these 3 games for now. We're going to try it out. We're going to try it out tonight because it's NBA Blowout City tonight. It's the National Blowout Association so far. I said because NBA League Pass sucks. It does suck. That was weird. It said I was blacked out. I refreshed the page because I've never been blacked out of a game other than Knicks and Nets. So I refreshed the page, tried it again, and it worked. So Giddey with another triple-double, by the way, 25, 11, and 11 for him. Giddey's going to mess around and make the All-Star team this year. Johnson was 17, 5, and 3 so far tonight. I said the Chicago-Philly game is interesting. We got it up. We're going to keep an eye on it. 7-point game so far with 8 minutes to go, I believe. Again, I had my timer ticking the whole time. The timer thing's not going to work out, obviously, with 3 games going on, so. Banchero crossing over to his left in the lane. Kicks out up top to a wide-open Jace Richardson, the rookie. Can't get it to go. Son of Jason Richardson, if you didn't know. Fight for the rebound, and Banchero fouls Mo Gay. 105-98. 7-point lead for Philly. They led by as many as 22, I believe, was the largest lead of the game. Maxey out of the right wing, being guarded by Okoro, coming to his left. Buzella switches onto him. Maxey's been on fire all night long, driving it down to the rim. Can't get the layup to go. No foul call. Fight for the rebound. The ball is loose. They kick it back out. They swing it over to Oubre, who's also been on fire all night long. He comes up short on that one. Giddey able to grab the rebound. On the other end, Kennard can't knock down the 3. Mo Gay chases down the long rebound. Over to Dyson Daniels, driving it down, leaves it off for Mo Gay. Gets the lefty layup to go. And the one for Mo Gay. 2 points to the wrong side. 2:20 to go here in the third. $7:20 to go in the fourth of Philly, Chicago. And Trendon Watford draws the foul on Jalen Smith. I said Giddey's killing it. Yeah, he is. Mo Gay misses the free throw. Banchero is going to bring it down off the rebound. There's another rebound for Banchero, for those who need it. Banchero is dancing with it. It's over to Anthony Black. Black's dancing with it around a Banchero screen. Now gets it over to Banchero. Swings to his left. Euro steps down the lane. Kicks it up top to De Silva. He's been knocking down a bunch of threes. Hits him with a pump fake. Gets to the foul line. Knocks down the one-legged floater. Tristan De Silva has been very impressive so far tonight. Okongwu driving it down. Hands it off to Kennard. A 14-point game. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Orlando can make this interesting going into the fourth. Vic Krejci knocks down a pull-up 3 off the handoff. I like Vic Krejci. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Colin Sexton at the foul line. He's got 16 points, 5 assists, Keenahara. I don't know what you needed. I don't remember, but I said you had additional time or too much to keep track of. Well, it's easier during the games, during when we do one game. It's obviously not going to work out if we got multiple games going on. I'm not going to do that. But what I do want to try and hook up is to have multiple ways to show each individual game cast, and also a way to show the box score of specific games. It's a 9-point game right now with 7 minutes to go. Into Vooch, throws up the lefty hook, got it to go. Back to 7. 107-100. Chicago down 7 with 7 minutes to go. I said Krejci. I was close. Krejci. New Orleans gets an easy dunk on the other end. It's 104-101. And Wofford driving it down. Can't knock down the floater, but Desmond Bane with the offensive rebound. Back over to Wofford. It's Maxey coming back door for the easy layup. If you're Buzelis there, he was jumping away from Wofford there, who picked up his handle in the corner. Dyson Daniels gets a nice easy layup. And then Mo Gay knocks the ball out of bounds. Almost came up with a steal in the inbound. 94-77 on the Orlando-Atlanta game here with a minute to go here in the third. Still a 7-point game. 109-102 here. 6 minutes to go, halfway through the fourth quarter. Philly trying to hold on, trying not to completely collapse off the 20-point lead. Maxey driving it in, trying to draw a foul. He can. Here comes Trey Jones bringing it down. Jones pulls it back out. Down low to Vooch. Vooch against Bona. Takes it out to Okoro. Okoro back up top to Johnson. Coming to his right off the screen, and they call a moving screen on Isaac Okoro. Tough. Alexander Walker knocks down yet another layup on the other end of Atlanta-Orlando over here with 38 seconds to go. They're back up by 19. This game's likely over going into the fourth here, but not entirely over. Reza Shea's checking back in. Reza Shea's been very good tonight. Got 19 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. It's the other things that Reza Shea's got to get better at. The other things. 3 rebounds, 1 assist is not good enough. Franz Wagner almost turns it over. He does turn it over. Ball going back to Atlanta here. Philly has the ball back, as Chicago couldn't score. It's still a 7-point game. Is that Embiid back in the game? Embiid is back in the game against Vooch. Backing him down. Leans in. Vooch knocks it out of his hands. No foul call. Herter driving it down the other way, putting his head down, spinning in the lane, gets it knocked out of his hands. That's not your game, Kevin Herter. That's not your game. Home run pass over to Oubre. Oubre in the left corner. Over to Embiid. He's looking healthier. Looking a little healthier here than he did to start the year. Embiid has it. Jab step. Little fall away mid-range jumper. Comes up short. Buzelis comes flying in for the rebound. Up top here with 20 seconds to go. Dyson Daniels gets it over to Okongwu. Daniels Euro steps down the lane. Knocks down the floater. 10 seconds to go. On the other end, Chicago scores, knocking it to a 5-point game with 4.5 to go. Franz Wagner driving it down at Okongwu. Has nowhere to go. Turns it over. Kennard picks it up. They're pushing. Kennard a pull-up 3 at the buzzer. Can't get it to go off the back rim. Keith Modeste, what's up, Keith? Here to support you on the off Knicks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother. Appreciate it. So that's going to close the quarter there with no Desmond Bane, and frustrations mounting for Orlando. It looks like this game's likely over going into the fourth. We got these other games to keep an eye on. The 5-point game for Chicago here is they've clawed all the way back down by as many as I believe 22. They were definitely down by at least 20. But I think it was a little bit larger than that. The 5-point game now here in the fourth quarter, 4:26 to go exactly. 109-104. Philly holding on to a lead here. Maxey's at the foul line for 2 free throws. Knocks down the first one. The Hornets are holding on to a lead over the Pelicans as well. It's a 5-point lead for the Hornets, 106-101, halfway through the fourth quarter here. They called a timeout after Maxey's first made free throw. The 6-point lead for Philly. Cash plays cause. What's up, Cash? Did Desmond Bane get injured? No, Desmond Bane got frustrated and committed a flagrant foul and got kicked out of the game, Cash. So he is done for the night. We might just switch to this for the rest of the night. We might just do this right here. Because it's a little bit easier. Right? A little bit easier for me. And you guys could also see the scores of the ones I'm talking about here. Got 3 games going on here tonight that I'm trying to cover here in the fourth quarter. Got Orlando Magic tipping off in the fourth quarter here. We got Philly, Chicago deep in the fourth quarter here. And then we got Hornets, Pelicans halfway through the fourth quarter. The 5-point game, the closest game we've had so far tonight, although this obviously Philly, Chicago is starting to get close. Cash said, wow, have that guy in fantasy and he does this to me. I don't know, brother. He might not be a good fantasy pickup because, boy, oh boy, is he struggling this year, Cash. K. Hazy said, Pacers losing to the Hornets is just sad. Pelicans losing to the Hornets is just sad. Yeah, even without Zion, the Pelicans should be much better than this. Derek Queen is at the foul line. It's a 4-point game. Queen will have 1 free throw to go. He can knock it to a 1-possession game. 106, 102. Queen's going to get his 1 free throw here. 5 minutes to go in the fourth in that game. Knocks it down. So 3-point game, 106, 103. Is that Diakite? Has it up top. Hands it off to Knipple to the rim. Got the scoop layup to go. Con Knipple. Okay, Con. I'll see you driving to the rim. Chris said if Franz gets 15, I can cash out. What is Franz sitting with now? Franz is sitting with 11. Needs 4 points here and just needs 2 layups. 2 layups. Can he get 2 layups here in garbage time? I hope so. We're back into our Orlando Atlanta matchup here. Franz misses a layup. My bad, brother. My bad. Can't believe Franz missed that easy layup there. Wendell Carter Jr. was there for the putback dunk, though. All right, I'm paying attention most to the Philly-Chicago game. Embiid fouls Vucevic. They're in the bonus, so Vuce will get 2 free throws out of it. Maxey just knocked down his 2 free throws. It's a 7-point game. Vuce can knock it back to a 2-point game. New Orleans picks up the steal. So it's a 3-point, remains a 3-point game in that one. And we get an off-ball foul here, as we've gotten 1,000 foul calls here tonight. In Orlando, Atlanta. Dyson Daniels is bleeding. Got busted open right above the eye. Right on the forehead. Right up here. Right up here. Vooch at the foul line. Looks like he missed the first one. No, he knocked down both free throws. It's a 5-point game. 111-106. Maxey bringing it down. Over to Embiid. Over to Oubre. The 5-point game in Hornets Pelicans with 3:30 to go. The 4-minute game remaining here. Chicago, Philly. Embiid backs in down Vooch. One-legged fall-away jumper. Off the back rim, can't get it to go. Herter with the rebound. Run your offense, Chicago. You're good. You got more than enough time. It's only a 5-point game. Get it over to Giddey. Giddey coming to his left, behind the back pass to Vooch. Vooch hands it off to Herter. Herter bounce pass to Vooch. Vooch kicks it over to Okoro in the corner. Bad pass. Now over to Vooch. Vooch hands it off to Herter. Herter running off the screen. Pulling it back. Just throws it up in the air to Vooch. Vooch rushes it. Can't get the layup to go. Come on, Vooch. Maxey has it on the right wing. We're up top here. Mo Gay in the other game in Atlanta, Orlando. Gets it over to Porzingis. Little fall. It leans in. Just leaned right into the defender. That's not a foul. These officials have been terrible tonight. This Orlando-Atlanta game. Absolutely terrible. Maxey with another 39 points up on the board. Maxey with 39. 39, 4, and 5 for Maxey tonight. Embiid actually had a pretty decent game, it looks like. 20 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. Starting to play a little bit better. 7 for 19 from the floor, though. Porzingis knocks down both of his free throws. They hold a 21-point lead over Orlando now. They get it over to Silva. Pump fakes, driving it down on Daniels. We have a timeout in Philly, Chicago. Suggs driving it down, loses the handle, out of bounds. It'll stay with Orlando. We also have a game break for New Orleans, Charlotte. Wendell Carter Jr. shoots up an air ball at the buzzer, and it takes shot clock violation. Keeping an eye on the Philly-Chicago game for y'all. Dyson Daniels up top. Gets it over to Porzingis. Porzingis back to Daniels. Daniels spins off the defender, leans in, draws the foul. He's going to go to the foul line of 2 free throws. Foul on De Silva. Coming back from the timeout break. Five-point lead for the Hornets. 5-point lead for Philadelphia. About 3 minutes to go in both of those games. Daniels knocks down his free throw. He's got another one coming. Banchero subbing back into the game. Franz has yet to score. For anybody who needed a Franz score, Franz has yet to score again. Daniels misses the second free throw. Trey Mann knocks down a floater. They're up 7. It looks like Charlotte is going to be able to hold on over New Orleans here unless a collapse happens. Reza picked up a steal. Gets fouled on the other end. This Atlanta-Orlando game is definitely over. Chris said, 4 points, Franz. Let's get yours. Franz was the guy who picked up the foul on Reza on the fast break. Giddey throws up the floater. Can't get it to go. Oubre with the rebound. 3 minutes to go. Time winding down in Chicago here. They're going to have to continue to get stops. Maxey, bounce pass to Embiid. Embiid has it in the mid-range. Being guarded by Vooch. Backing him down. Knocked out of his hands. He dives for it. He can't save it. Okoro over to Giddey. Giddey going in. Can't get the scoop layup to go. Okoro right there. Gets the layup to go, but they call a goaltend anyway. 2 points for Chicago either way. It's a 3-point game. It's a one-possession game in Chicago, Philly, y'all. One-possession game. And on the complete other end of the spectrum, Banchero chucks up a 3, can't get it to go. Reza had the rebound, lost it. Okongwu picks it up. A 24-point beatdown. Atlanta over Orlando without Trae Young. Absolutely despicable Orlando game here tonight. Franz Wagner down the lane. Gets the lefty layup to go. There you go, Chris. Got the lefty layup for Franz on that one. We need one more basket from Franz. We need one more basket from Franz. Derek Queen down the lane gets a layup to go. It's a 2-point game there. Trey Jones picks up a steal. We're pushing it the other way. Trey Jones gets it over to Buzelis. Down the lane against Embiid. Gets shot blocked by Embiid. Not a good decision from Buzelis there. You got to go up for the dunk. But then Philly turns it over. Now they're going to say Trey Jones got his fingertips on it. It'll remain with Philly with 2 minutes to go. You got to look to throw that one down, Buzelis. Is Franz still in the game? Franz is still in the game. He's guarding Porzingis here. Franz just goes in and pushes Porzingis. Franz is frustrated. You know, I said, come on, let's go, VJ. Chicago comes up with a stop. Giddey shovels it over to Buzelis. Pass fake. He's got a lane going over there. Tried to throw it down. Gets blocked by Maxey. What a defensive play from Maxey. Blocking the Buzelis dunk. Maxey all the way the other way. Can't get the lefty layup to go. No foul call. Giddey with the rebound. Bringing it down the other way. He's going to wait for his teammates. Giddey dancing with it against Quinn Grimes. Crosses over down the lane. Throws up the floater. Got it to go. It's a 1-point game with 1:19 to go, y'all. Come on, Chicago. I just want to see Philly lose. I don't like Philly more than I don't like Chicago. Get over to Maxey. They call a timeout for Philly. Man. I said, Buzella's still working on his dunks from last year's dunk contest. Was not good. Was not a good performance. I don't remember anything about the dunk contest. The last thing I remember about a dunk contest, the last memorable thing that happened was Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine. And that was 10 years ago now. It was a decade ago. It's 107-87. Still a 20-point game here for Atlanta over Orlando. The 2-point game here with under a minute to go. Charlotte holding a 2-point lead over New Orleans. New Orleans comes up with a stop. They'll get the ball back. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead. I'll put this game on mute and slide it down here to the other screen. And I'll grab our 2 close games here. I'll throw it up on the big screen up here. Those will be the games we focus on at this point. Orlando, Atlanta games all the way down here on mute. These games, let me go ahead as New Orleans turns it over. Come on, New Orleans. Throw the volume up. Chris Johnson said, I need 18, Franz. You're pissing me off. He's not going to get 18, unfortunately, Chris. He's not going to get 18. Might get 15. He might get 18. Might get 18 if he comes back in the game. He's still out there. He's still out there. 8:30 to go. They're down 22. I believe he's stuck on 13 now. Look it up real quick. We can look it up real quick. Wagner, yeah, with 13 points. Not looking good, brother. Not looking good for Wagner, who's not going to play that much longer in this blowout. Banchero get the ball ripped right out of his hands by Porzingis. Here we go. Chicago gets a stop. Giddey bringing it down. Cross-court pass to Vooch. Up top to Buzelis. Kick it out to Jones. Back to Giddey. Uh-oh. Giddey has it up top. Calling for a screen. Giddey coming to his left. Driving it down. Stop. Turn. Spin. In the air. Tried to shovel it over to Buzelis. A bad pass from Josh Giddey there. Turns it over. 30 seconds to go. Are you going to play this straight? I guess he can. No threes. Even if they knock down, even if they get a 2, no threes. They hit a 3, the game is likely over. They got to get a stop. Maxey, sidestep 3. That's what you can't give up. Maxey shoots up the air ball. Giddey with the rebound. And a timeout for Chicago. All right, there we go. Chicago, can you pull off the comeback? Can you pull off the comeback? It looks like Buzelis tipped the ball. It looked like he got the block on the step back Maxey 3. He was also signaling to his teammates, grab it, because they tipped it. He was screaming, tip, 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 to his teammates, which is why they didn't let it go out of bounds. He shouldn't have let it go out of bounds anyway. Good job, they grabbed the rebound. Giddey grabbed the rebound. Another one. I think he's got 14 rebounds now. But here it is, 14 seconds on the clock. They're down by 1. They have the opportunity to steal this one away from Philly. It would be glorious to watch a complete Philly collapse here tonight. Hinar said, I had Giddey over 8.5 rebounds. He's got 15. Yeah, man. Giddey's good. He's been good for a really long time. Obviously had a misstep in when he was with Oklahoma City off the court. Whatever that situation was. Obviously never really came to light. Hopefully he learned from it. Getting traded to Chicago, he's fully realizing his potential, man. He's good. Good. I always liked Giddey as a player. Always really liked Giddey as a player. Con Knipple with a straightaway 3. Came up short. Trey Murphy with the rebound. So New Orleans can also come away with a victory here. They have 23.4 seconds left, and they have the ball, so shot clock will be off. They can hold it for the final possession and either go for the tie or go for the win. But here we go. Chicago's going to inbound it. You know, I said, is that what her name was? Misstep? That might have been what her name was, brother. Kitty coming to his left down the lane. Gets under the rim, kicks it out. Vucevic for three. Vucevic for three! 3.2 seconds left. And Chicago's up by 2. Their first lead of the game. Oh, man, I hope Philly loses. I hope Philly loses. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Robin said F the Bulls, yeah, F the Sixers, yeah, Bulls. I'm with you on that one, Robin. I'm with you on that one. Vucevic with a huge corner three. Giddey with an excellent left-handed offhand pass, by the way. Someone hit a three? Who hit that three? New Orleans up by 1. Alvarado hit the three out of the corner, similar to Vucevic. Some huge shots, some huge clutch shots here. Pacers Nation said, are you watching all 3 games at the same time? Yes, I am, Pacers Nation. Yes, I am. We had to turn off Orlando, Atlanta. Games are trash. The game was trash. Atlanta's up by 20. You can see it right here. Orlando's up by 20. Here, Atlanta's up by 20 over Orlando here. Had to tune in to Philadelphia, Chicago, because it got close, and Chicago pulled off the full comeback, but they got 3 seconds left to play defense unless the game's over. I don't know who won. We're going to find out right now. And then the Pelicans just knocked down a big 3 to take a 1-point lead over the Hornets. So we got both those games up here. Grimes a straightaway 3. Great open look. Can't get it to go. And that's going to be it as the Bulls pick up a victory. Love to see a Philadelphia collapse, even though Chicago looks like the real deal. Chicago, big comeback win there. Love to see Philadelphia collapse. Love to see Embiid cry out there on the court. Beautiful, beautiful sight to behold. Largest deficit to win since February 17, 2021. When they trailed by 25 points to Detroit. They trailed by 24 points tonight to Philadelphia. Love to see Philly walk away as losers. Isn't that just glorious to see? Isn't that just glorious to see? Giddey with 29, 15, and 12. My man is going to make the All-Star game tonight. This season, I should say. He's going to make the All-Star game this year. Chicago's legit good, too. For everybody who was crying about Chicago beating the Knicks, Chicago's good. Chicago's good. And it looks like New Orleans is going to get the victory here. Yeah, we can get rid of that. Switch over to this. Get rid of that. Pelicans, Hornets. Pelicans get the ball back, right? Pelicans got the ball. They got fouled. They're up by 3. Oh, they can go by 4. So that game's also going to be over. The Pelicans are going to end up winning it. The Bulls completed the 24-point comeback. Big Rud. What's up, Big Rud? Yeah, Bulls. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What did this say? 6.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. This game looks like misery. We're done for the night. We're going to wrap it up here. The Pelicans pull off a nice victory for their first win against the Hornets here. The Chicago Bulls pulled off an excellent comeback victory against the Philadelphia 76ers, so it's always nice to see the Sixers lose. Like I said, I think I'm sold on the Bulls being legit good. I don't think I'm sold on the Sixers being good, right? Chris Baskerville, Franz got the layup. Shout out to Franz. Shout out to Franz then. But I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. No need to really hang around. K. Hazy said Giddey's the new Luka. Hey, man. If Giddey starts averaging like 38, 10, and 10, then he'll be the next Luka. Right now, he's mini Luka. Luka's kind of going crazy when he's healthy enough to play. But we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up here. No need to stick around and watch this game end. We know this game is over. So we'll wrap it up there. We got to watch the end of Philly, Chicago. Chicago pulled off the 24-point victory. We did get to also see the end of that Pelicans game. The Pelicans get their first victory over the Charlotte Hornets there. Now we got some late night games going on, which don't really care about right now for the West Coast. Also too late in order for me to really watch them. So that's going to wrap it up here for our coverage here tonight. Obviously, unfortunately, didn't have a very good game to watch. But we were able to tune into Chicago, Philadelphia for the end of it and at least get to watch something somewhat entertaining, right? So we do have a big game tomorrow. Show will be, what time is the game? 7:30 start time, I assume? 7:30 start time, ESPN game tomorrow. Knicks versus Timberwolves. Going to be a big game. Expect Anthony Edwards to play despite him being questionable. You know, everybody likes to suddenly get healthy for the Garden. Watcher, appreciate you. Keenahar, appreciate you. Kay Hazy, Justice's dad, of course. Chris Baskerville, of course. Pig Rudd, obviously. Robin, appreciate you. You know, I said, and if you don't get that remark, I basically said Luka with a Grady. Come on, brother. But that's going to wrap it up. We will be live at 7 o'clock tomorrow to, of course, go through our pregame routine. As always, it is a staple now of the show. So I will see you tomorrow at 7 when Knicks take on the Timberwolves for the third game of their 7-game homestand. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Also, let's go to our final scene real quick. Shout out to all the members. I had to put you guys on a scroll because now there's 26 of you, I think. Thanks to Amy's 10 gifted subs. So I appreciate every single one of you, even those with the gifted membership, of course. Thank you guys for supporting the channel monetarily. I very much appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Remember to brush your teeth before bed, stay hydrated, and get a good night's sleep. And I'll see you on the next one. Good night, everybody. Bye.